This version of It's Erik Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
It's Erik Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear, it's Erik Nagel.
Thank you, Scott Shannon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. My name is Erik Nagel. Over there in the frozen tundra of the deserts of Arizona is Jordan.
It gets cold this time of year, man. There's frost on my stuff. It's crazy.
What's it like below 30 at the desert?
Cold, like real cold.
Obviously, but
it's a lot of it's just like you get frost all over your car, so it's like you know everything's glistening and shiny. But it's
a dry cold.
It's a dry cold, yeah, exactly.
All right,
but no, it's not bad. I like the chill. I'm still walking around in shorts. I just got a hoodie on and doing my thing. Got my heated seats in my car.
You wearing your socks and slides? Or are you wearing?
No, I'm not that douchey.
Thank God. Otherwise, we were going to have to do this show solo. Welcome to the program, everybody. Follow us across the board on all the social medias at It's Erik Nagel. If you're listening to us on the iHeartRadio app as we do the show, thank you very much for doing so. You can hop into our live rooms and be part of the program each and every time that we do this over on YouTube and on Twitch. I think today we are also streaming to Twitter and we are streaming to Instagram. I have told that they are still working on that issue, but I think we have an hour for the Instagram live feed and then it cuts off. So we'll try to give you a heads up before that happens, and maybe you can pop over to the YouTube channel and you can join us there. And if you're listening to us on demand and none of this is live through Apple, Spotify, wherever you're getting your on-demand content, we thank you for doing so, and do us a kindness and leave us a positive review. It does help out the program with algorithms and whatnot. How you been, Jordan? Haven't talked to you in a few days.
I know things have been kind of weird traveling and then all that stuff, but
Where'd
yeah, not
you
too
go?
bad. No, I didn't go anywhere. I'm done. I'm done for the year. I don't want to go anywhere. Why would I want to go anywhere? I'll just end up back here.
Don't you have like four festivals that you're going to? Because you still think you're under 30?
Yeah, pretty much. I was going to say, you're already going to the same... Well, I mean, you're going to try to get out of the Green Day concert in Jersey. I mean, if you want to meet up with us in Chicago, we might have an extra ticket. You can come hang out with us and get some pizza.
That might be...
I know how much we love the deep dish.
No. No. It took me a while to even like their hot dogs. Their Vienna-style hot dogs, but... I
think they're good.
It was a learning curve.
We have a Portillo's. We have a Portillo's out here, which is, pretty much Chicago. So... I mean, I don't need to do the whole Chicago hot dog bit, but I want a good, authentic deep dish when we go out there. So
that's all. That is all on you. I am not being bothered.
Papa John's or Domino's.
Yeah. Why?
Make all the Chicago people upset, or not? I hear they're weird about that.
I don't know what happened. I haven't touched this thing. I don't know why my headphones sound weird. The mic just, I think, popped louder. Maybe the board's going. Maybe I got to go. These boards are
but
expensive.
it seems to go out when you touch the mic. So maybe it's, I don't know.
No, I know that's short. I'm working on that. But everything else, I don't know. Maybe because everything was shut down for a week. I have no idea. All right, whatever. It is what it is. Nobody wants to hear that nonsense. So what am I seeing in here? You like the IKEA hot dog? IKEA sells hot dogs?
I guess. I haven't been to IKEA in a while. I actually just ordered some shelving to do some work down in my living room because you couldn't buy it in store because I guess they were on sale. I just did go to the Costco the other day and I got
the Kirkland hot dogs.
I got the Kirkland hot dog and a couple slices of pizza, and it was the cheapest dinner I've had in a long time.
It is good. Fantastic. My only problem is, one, it's yellow mustard. There's no spicy mustard. Two, there's no sauerkraut.
I do like sauerkraut.
They need to offer some sort of sauerkraut with it.
They did add a menu item, though. They have these big, giant cookies now you can buy. So they added just one of those ones that they heat them up. They're all gooey on the inside. They're chocolate chip. They're pretty good size. They're about that big. But yeah, I mean, I didn't try them, but they look good. I'm going to try them the next time I'm in.
All right. Well, the only thing I ever get in those places, Sam's Club Costco is the hot dog drink combination. Sometimes you're like, should I get the chicken bake? It does look okay, and then I never get it. I never.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I did the exact same thing. I'm like, I can spend $2, get a big slice of pizza, $1.50 for a hot dog and chicken combo.
Right.
Chicken bake was $3.99. I'm like, ooh, it's a little steep. I'm like, I'm just gonna get the other shit.
It
like,
looks,
I'm not
it
gonna
looks
spend
like a
$4.
glorified Hot Pocket, which it looks fantastic. I never pull the trigger. I'm like, but then I'm not getting the hot dog, so I don't waste my time with it.
Yeah, no, the hot dog is always a good choice. And you know what? I never buy them. I never get the Polish dogs or whatever. Not Polish dogs. Saw the comment. The hot dogs, like they sell them in packs, and you can go buy them in like the refrigerated section. I never buy them and take them home.
No, I just
and eat it there.
Yeah, I want the pre-assembled steamed hot dog in the poppy seed bun.
Right.
Yeah. Our pal Rob in the chat there said Costco getting rid of the Polish sausage goes down as the worst thing to happen in the last 4 years. I don't remember seeing the Polish sausage at Costco.
I think I had it once. I don't remember hating it. I just can't remember.
And it's not like Costco does regional
if it tasted
stuff,
much different.
You know, it's the same all over the country. So yeah, I don't remember that. Lucy Moody in the chat saying no kraut, no onions. Well, you're half incorrect. You always have to have sauerkraut with a hot dog. Unless you're from Chicago, and then you do the weird peppers and pickles, and that's fine. Chicago's
the neon green relish.
They've established themselves as a legitimate center for hot dog consumption. They can get away with that. Rob following up with it was Polish sausage or hot dog and soda $1.50. Man, for $3 you're living pretty. You get one of each. Fantastic.
Yeah, but what are you going to do with 2 sodas? Chuck one of the cups at somebody.
Yeah. Or sell it, resell it. Like undercut Costco. It's like, I'll give this to you for $1, so you can avoid the line of 80 people that just came off the cash registers that are now trying to get the hot dogs. $1, I'll give you the extra soda cup. Deal.
So you're doing 2 hot dogs and a soda for $2. That's a pretty good deal,
right?
You're onto something.
Yeah, it beats all the people that go on the weekends with their family to scam free meals from all the sample aisles.
Oh yeah, I won't go. I won't go on the weekends. And yeah, I went, I think Monday night or Tuesday night, and it was still busy. But yeah, the weekends I just avoid it. No thanks. Too busy.
No thanks.
No thanks.
What it is. All right, let's get into a lot of stuff that we have to talk about tonight. So I just got back from Texas. I was out in the Dallas area again. I was over at the Blaze doing my pal Dave Landau's show, Normal World. Mm-hmm. And that episode aired Wednesday night. I was a guest on the show, but then Dave had to go and leave for some event that he had. So they had asked me if I would fill in for Dave. So I got to guest host the Thursday night episode. So as we're doing the show on Thursday night, it's coming up in about an hour. But for everybody else that's not listening to this live and on demand, both episodes are available. Just go to Normal World on YouTube, and you can find both episodes there. It was a great time had by all. Wouldn't be me if there weren't some issues or inconveniences that happened
right
during a trip. And this trip wasn't as bad as other trips that I've had.
Like I was saying, like you were uncharacteristically quiet on the travel out. Mm-hmm. Me and Rob, like I said, were a little concerned. We thought maybe the plane went down,
right? Because
you didn't complain for an hour. Like we did get the rundown that you got delayed a little bit, but that was about it. Like there was really not much more complaints other than the, I think, $17 sandwich and soda combo, which I was very upset that you even showed me that. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. So I got there and I was getting ready to go on the plane, and then right as I'm at, you go down the it's not the plank. What is it called?
The gangway.
The gangway. Right to the door of the plane. And right as I'm about to enter the plane, some airport personnel said there was yelling something. They come running down, so I'm thinking medical problem, because why else are they running down to the plane? They stop. They talk to flight attendants, the captain, and stuff like that. They made everybody leave the plane. So now I'm thinking, like, what did they find on the plane? Like, what's going on?
So you weren't actually on the plane yet. Like, you were just about to get in.
One person in front of me, doorway onto the plane. That's where I was at. So they said, you got to go back to the gate. Really? No. I'm like, why? What happened? It's like, well, everybody on the plane has to get out. Oh, okay. So I go walking up back and, like you do, you turn around and you build a semicircle around the gate. Like, what the hell's going on?
Right.
Then we start to see other gates that are near us, people coming back out. And they're stopping. And so I'm like, oh, flights aren't coming in. Everyone's getting taken off their planes at the gate. So then they make an announcement. I guess there was a really bad storm coming, like 60-mile-an-hour winds that I guess was coming from across the country. I know the Carolinas, Florida got hit pretty well. Virginia, the whole eastern seaboard got hit with a lot of wind, a lot of flooding going on. There was a lot of flooding up in this area as well. They said the storm's coming. All flights have been grounded at Newark Airport. And my flight wasn't going to leave until like 2:30 now. And my flight was at 12. And then it got pushed to like 3 o'clock. And so I'm like, all right, I got time to kill. So we're in the new terminal. Everything's all fancy. Everywhere you sit has charging stations and available Wi-Fi and whatever you need to do. So I set up. I go get food. And the only thing around me, besides some of there's a Guy Fieri restaurant in this new terminal.
Is there?
Yeah, it's called Guy's.
Like a Flavor Town or something?
It's Guy's Kitchen. It's what it's called. And I saw everybody flocking over there. There's people at Jersey Mike's. There's people at the taco place. There's some other burger place on the other direction. Like everywhere you go, everyone who got kicked off the planes are now just online for all the restaurant stuff. So
just at the bars.
So there's a 7-Eleven in this terminal. And
I don't think I've ever seen that.
So I go in, and it's the food and the beverages are 7-Eleven has their own sandwiches, but the beverage section, the big glass doors where you go in. Right. 7-Eleven's known for having many a beverage, and you go in there, and it's all the same stuff that you see in the other gift stores, travel stores, right there, because it's all the same contracting licenses for what they're doing. And it's like, why am I going to spend all this money for food at 7-Eleven and it's not anything that's even at 7-Eleven? So I go to the other place. They have wraps. I get a wrap and I get a soda, and it was $17.
Yeah, I've avoided buying things at airports from now on. Like I don't do it. If I can avoid it, I will. It's very rare.
I normally do too, but I hadn't eaten anything all day. Like I got up early in the morning, was doing stuff. I figured I'd sleep on the flight and get something when I landed in Dallas. So got that, sat down, and then alarms started going off. Like high-pitched screeching alarms, and it's everyone's looking around because now everyone's kind of freaking out because you just pulled everyone off the planes. Looking around, it's the that high-pitched noise when if you walk through a fire door. Mm-hmm. So you're looking up towards the ceiling, you're seeing the white strobe lights, it's that high-pitched noise, and it goes on for a while. It was like 10 minutes before they shut it off. So now you got everybody on edge because their flights are grounded. You got this high-pitched alarm going off. The sky's getting really dark, and it's just like one part of the terminal is just a giant wall of glass, like at least 100 feet of just glass standing up, and then down the entire side of the building. So sitting there, you're working, you're doing all of this stuff, and killing time. Finally, they go, okay, we're going to try to load some of these planes. They're trying to get some of these flights off the ground before the storm hits. So the state of New Jersey was in a state of emergency by the governor. The flights were grounded, but then they were trying to get people out before the storm. So, like, why did you ground us 3 hours ago if the storm wasn't officially here yet? And it made no sense. So you get on the plane, flight takes off, everything's fine. Well, not everything's fine. So I go to my seat. I get an aisle seat, and I usually get, up front the business class because you have the extended leg room and more room for your bags and what have you.
Eric's all business.
There's been a thing going on for the longest time where you know how when you line up for a flight, you have your group number based on where you are in the flight. Your seating in the flight. Group 1, Group 2. Before that, active military personnel, senior citizens or disabled people flying with a small child, they get priority to get on the plane first. And then Group 1, Group 2, 3, 4, 5. So my number says Group 5, but I never follow that. I go as soon as Group 2 is done, I'm there for Group 3 on the front of the line. I scan and I go in because I'm not going to sit there and wait anymore. It's ridiculous.
And they have no way of telling you like you have to go back, because I know when I do Southwest, they are on top of it. If you are in Group C and they're calling Group B, they'll know. Like they scan it and they're like, "Oh, sir, you're going to have to go back."
You have a self check-in to go to the gates now. So you have you have the original by the little desk there where you can scan the thing. It pops on the computer and they say, "Have a nice flight," whatever. You go in. But if the line's really big, they're feeding line 1 to that desk. Then next to it, like almost like 3 self checkouts, you walk over with your phone, with the barcode, turn it over, put it down in the thing. It says, "Welcome, your name, and here's your seat," whatever. And the screen turns green. The glass doors open. You walk right in. Down the gangway. So I'll take advantage of that. I went and did all that. Get onto the plane. I go to sit down, and pretty close to the front of the plane, there is a rather large woman sitting in the middle seat. And I'm looking, and I see this can be a problem because not only is she pinned between the 2 armrests, but like parts of her are under the armrest and coming out the side.
I hate that you had to say parts of her, because I'm just imagining just shapes, all kinds of shapes going in all kinds of directions.
Her lower part of her belly and her her thigh meat, the dark meat of the chicken, is now oozing under the handles of the armrest there. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, "Hello, how are you doing?" And I'm all over the place. Sorry. What I was trying to tell you about the gate wasn't just the self-checkout. They've been doing this gimmick for a long time now, where if you're up to the front of the plane and you're not first class, they make you go in the last groups, right? Because they get everybody in the back of the plane on first.
Oh, interesting.
But that last half of the plane seems to somehow fill up all the bin space to the front of the plane, so you can't put your carry-ons in there. And they start asking for volunteers to check in their bags as luggage. And if they don't, they start making it mandatory.
Yep.
So
they do that with Southwest.
Everyone has these little mini suitcases that they bring with them now. And all the schlubs that get the shitty seats in the back next to the bathroom in the back part of the plane somehow get all the bin space for the entire plane. So I never carry that extra bag. I always have my business backpack with me, and I throw it under the seat. Now, sometimes if you're on the aisle seat, they narrow that space for your putting your bag under there, and you go, "I can't fit my thing on there." Well, we're gonna have to. We'll put it up in the front closet there, and you can get it. No, you're not, because all my stuff's here with me. I'm not giving you the bag. I'll figure something out. But this time
it's always, "Sir, could you put that under the seat in front of you?" I'm like, "No, it's being held by my feet. It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. It's good enough for the baby. It's good enough." No, I'm kidding. So, so I get my bag under the seat. It's fine. It wasn't one of those condensed things. She was condensed in the regular seat, but my bag was perfectly fine. Had enough space under the seat in front of me. So I go to sit down, and I'm sitting like this, and already I'm sideways. I'm tilted at an angle because I sit down.
Wow,
she's there. I can't get my arm anywhere near the armrest. Right now, I guess the rule is that if they're sitting in the middle, they get the armrest. You get the the aisle or the window. That's just the cards that you're dealt. I wasn't even close. I'm sitting like this. My arm is now hanging over the other armrest into the aisle because I can't sit up straight.
So you're basically over on the side. And you got probably one cheek kind of lifted?
No, but it's
You're not doing the one lift cheek?
No.
Okay.
My bottom is centered, but the rest of me is leaning like this. So I'm like, this is a problem. So the flight's getting ready to take. I said, gonna have to suck it up and deal with it. A little over 4 hours.
Oh.
So I said, all right, I'm gonna have to deal with this, and I just lean in to the left, and now it's almost like when Cartman merges with the Trapper Keeper,
right,
in South Park. It's like I feel like I'm going to be assimilated into this, and can't get out. So I'm kind of like this, and I feel her going like this, like she's getting annoyed that people are pressing into her, because the guy on the other side of her, he's leaning onto the window, that little divot area for the window.
He's like stuck against the window.
Yes, almost like that. So this is what I'm dealt with. I'm sitting there and I lean back. I'm trying to sleep for a while. I wake up at some point in the flight and I look over. Just, I'm seeing what's going on in the cabin. What are other people doing? I'm going to bring this photo up here
and she's eating a whole rotisserie chicken.
She's basting my neck.
God. It's like, ew, how'd you get that on the plane?
Where I'm sitting, diagonal to me, is a guy with his laptop and he's watching TV.
Right. I forgot about this guy.
And I'm watching. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. It's some Asian guy. He just stabbed somebody with a samurai sword.
Wait, hold on. The guy watching is not stabbing someone with a samurai sword. The video that you're watching the guy watch is some Asian guy stabbing
I like
someone
your
with a samurai
version
sword.
better.
Okay.
Because for the accuracy of the story, no, he was not stabbing somebody with a samurai sword. He's watching somebody stab somebody with a samurai sword. And then it cuts to like a geisha house. And then the rest of this is just weird anime porn happening. So I'm sitting there and I'm kind of like, I can't believe this guy's watching this stuff, but it doesn't surprise me with the way everything is now. People walking around with their phone on FaceTime, yelling at each other while they're in the stores, not giving a shit about anybody else as they walk down the aisles, or it's on FaceTime and they do this. They have it at their ear like this as they're yelling, looking at things or pushing a cart or what have you. The person on FaceTime is seeing either the top of their head or the ceiling.
It's not even so much FaceTime either. Like you'll see them, and instead of having the phone up or having earbuds like every other person, they've got their friend on speakerphone and they're just walking around like this.
But that's
up.
speakerphone. But this is FaceTime.
No,
I see it all the time because you can see if you walk past and catch a glimpse, you see the other person on the phone.
It's like talking to a 5-year-old.
It's a phone. Why aren't they just doing this? Because everyone's assholes now. So doesn't surprise me. Now this guy doesn't give a shit about what he's watching, and I guess that's fair because in-flight entertainment has movies where people are getting killed and mature situations, drug use and violence and what have you. Usually it's not sex stuff.
Right.
He is eating his snacks. He's watching. Maybe that should be the show title, by the way. Thank you, Bartholomew. Everyone is indeed assholes. But we just go, everyone is assholes. Probably iTunes won't.
Everyone is assholes.
Anyway, the guy's watching this stuff, and I just see it getting more and more intense. Not giving a fuck. He's sitting like this. It's got his arms wrapped. His laptop is playing, and he's just watching everything. So here you go. I look over and this is what I'm seeing.
That's bold.
Right? So that's what he's watching in there. And then it gets worse. Then another lady comes in and there's mature situations happening while this is going on. And then the episode ends. Like this is going on for at least several minutes. And then the episode ends or the movie ends, whatever it is. I'm not paying attention again. I'm doing stuff on my phone. And I have my iPad open, and I'm looking for this. Where is this on the in-flight entertainment? Can't find it. I look back over.
I want to watch for the plot.
I look back over. There's a different scene going on. Seems to be at the same geisha house where it's an older guy now, and there's women just this other lady's talking to him, leans over, and you see the view of him looking down and this hand going over and grabbing his crotch. And then other stuff starts happening again. I go, what is going on? And no one's saying anything about this. I'm perplexed. Now, I'm not going to say anything. This isn't one of those scenarios that I need to speak up on. I'm curious to see how the rest of this pans out for the flight.
Now, real quick, do you want me to make you happy and tell you what he was watching?
No, because
I know exactly what he was watching.
I talked about this on Normal World, and somebody wrote me and told me what it was that he was watching. It's a Netflix series called
and it's a good show.
Blue-Eyed Samurai.
I just couldn't believe he was watching it on the plane.
But you not having known that, you swear this is just anime porn because it's pretty graphic. Yeah. Not graphic in the sense of the guys getting speared by a sword, but graphics by these women getting speared by this guy's sword while they're laying on the floor in a geisha house.
Yep.
So he's still watching this for a while. I go back to what I'm doing, and then I see him. He clears his throat, makes a noise, repositions, and then he turned that off and put something else on. He just watched at least an hour of this graphic sexual content, then flips over to watch comedian Kelsey Cook's stand-up special. Now, I know Kelsey. I've met her a couple times. She used to open up for Jim Norton for a while.
Okay.
And I go, how do you make that transition? From
maybe this was his Margaret Thatcher nude on a cold day situation where he has to calm down.
Right.
Ugh.
So that's what that was the rest of the flight to Texas. Now, there was something else that happened that when I got to the airport, nothing major, but out of curiosity, I sent you guys some photos and I said, what do you think is going on here? So I'm going to show you this. Get to the baggage claim, and there's multiple flights having their bags unloaded to the conveyor belt. All of a sudden, I see. I start seeing this come on to the conveyor belt, a cooler. I go, that's weird. Why would a cooler be there? Doesn't make any sense, right? It goes around. Nobody picks it up. Then, as I'm sitting there thinking to myself, and I go, wow, that's weird. Nobody picked this up. Who travels with a cooler, right? Another one shows up. And that
they have no other markings on them, no stickers, no biohazard, nothing to distinguish these things from anything.
Whatever this red thing is here. And I kept trying to see what this red tag is because I'm thinking body parts, medical something. And
right, someone's heart.
Every time these coolers came down, the tag was facing away, so I couldn't really get a chance to see what it was. Lucy Moody saying it's full of Kirkland hot dogs. That would have been fantastic if that was the case, right? So that cooler comes and goes. Now the red one's still going, the blue one's still going. I took some photos and I sent it to you guys saying, what do you think this is? As I'm sending it to you, an orange one now pops up on there.
Oh, I didn't know there was another one. I thought there was only the two.
There's 5.
And did you ever see anybody pick these things up?
No.
Or did you get your stuff and get out?
Because after the third one came out and was going around, right? I see my bag coming up the thing, going down to the metal part, spin around. I go and I grab my bag. So as I'm grabbing my bag, there's an older lady who had, God bless her, she had a rose pink colored old lady suitcase. So it's like, oh, that's my bag. So I go and I help her and I give her the bag and, being nice. 2 more coolers come up. And I just I want to sit around and find out what this is, but I have to go meet the car, so I can't. So I left, and I kept thinking, I'm like, there was 5 coolers. Traveling with 1 cooler is one thing. 5 of them? What is going on? What's in these things? And if it was medical stuff, don't they usually ship by carrier?
Most of the time, I don't think they would ship on a commercial airline.
No.
They usually have some kind of if it's close enough helicopter situation, or they'll have private flights. They might do commercial, but they have to, I think, legally mark what's being shipped, biohazard or something like that. Because, kind of gross. Like, you're not going to want to, someone's grabbing just a cooler and it turns out it's, someone's kidneys.
I was keen to find out, but alas, nobody was picking them up. I did not have time to sit there and wait to see what was going on here. They all had those red tags on them. So
I did not realize there were 5. You had only shown us the 2.
Yeah, because then as I got my bag and was getting ready to go, the orange one popped up and then 2 more came on. And I was already walking to the front to go meet my ride to take me to the hotel. So that was weird. The flight back, get on the flight. I didn't sleep. For some reason, I went to bed and I slept half an hour, and then I woke up in a panic that I missed the flight. And I look at the clock, and I only had slept a half an hour. So I couldn't get back to bed for some reason. I was up all night, got packed, ready, got the car, got to the airport at 7 in the morning, and had to wait a while for them to wait a while before the boarding started and get back on the plane.
Right.
So I get on the plane. There's bags on my seat, like white bags in somebody's pocketbook or something. And I'm waiting. There's a guy in front of me. The line's holding up because everybody's trying to get all their shit into the bins above the seats. Finally clears up, and I go to the seat, and the lady looks over and she goes, "Oh, your seat?" I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Okay." I go and I sit down. Bunch of people coming down the aisle. It's, how it is. People are standing there waiting because one guy's got to try to find a space, and now he has to try to plow through the line coming in to get a bag over into a bin that's 7 seats in front of him, and just nonsense.
Same airline, right? Like
same airline. Yeah, it's all United.
Okay.
Flight's getting ready to take off, going up in the air, and then I realized the dynamic of the people around me. So the lady to my right, sitting in the center seat, is a mom. Across the aisle is the dad in a middle seat with their, I'm going to say somewhere around 1, their 1-year-old, because they're kind of walking, they're watching the phone and everything, so a little over 1, right? Sitting in the aisle seat with the seatbelt, no baby seat, nothing. She's just sitting there regularly, which I think is illegal. The child, if you have a child under a certain weight and certain age, I think you're allowed to have them on your lap. You're allowed to have them on your lap. But I think putting them in a seat just with the seatbelt on is illegal. I don't know. It just seemed like it was. Then as I'm noticing this, apparently their other child is in a middle seat in a row behind me. And then I guess another family member a little further, a couple rows back. It seems that they bought middle seats throughout the flight, and none of them were together. None of the seats were together for this family. They convinced somebody who had the aisle seat next to me to switch with them to that middle seat in the back, which I don't know how that person agreed to that, thinking that was okay. So that person was back several rows in a middle seat so that the father and the baby could sit next to each other, which I get. If the kid was older, I would understand that. The kid's 1. The kid can sit on your lap or have a car seat like you're supposed to, and they didn't do that. So the mom's next to me. We're already half an hour into the flight, and I have a feeling she's mad at me because I didn't offer to give her my seat. Now, I had no idea that this was a family all split up. None, right? But at this point, when I started to see the dynamic, I go, I'm not giving up the seat. Normally I would have, but if the kid was sitting with her, but the kid's not sitting with her. So I'm not doing that. I don't like the middle seats. I'm not going to sit in the middle seat for over 4 hours. It's just not happening. There's a reason why I paid extra for business class and the aisle seat. Because imagine having to switch. I mean, this was just in the same row. Imagine having to switch like that other guy to go back into a row that wasn't business class. Because
yeah, I mean, if you're switching like literal class like areas, then that's probably an issue. Like I wouldn't have minded switching a row or going a row up or even across the aisle, but no. If I paid for a certain thing, I'm not going to go sit back with the rabble.
So at this point, I'm like, I don't care, whatever. So I have my sleep mask on. I got my headphones in. I'm leaning back and I'm sleeping for a while. All of a sudden, getting poked in the side of my arm. And I jump up and I pull my mask up. What? And she just points like she needs to get up. So I'm like, okay. So I get up, grab my stuff, get up so she can get out. Now she's she's now standing in the aisle with the father and the baby there, and then she takes the baby to go get changed. I get it, not a problem. I'm not complaining. There's so many other things, little things that I start screaming and yelling about on this show, and I'm not complaining about this. So I sit back down. I'm kind of sleeping for a while, and then when she's done, she wants to go back to her seat. Okay, mask on, headphones on, back sleeping. I don't know how much time passed. I get tapped again. She needs to get up. Okay, fine, whatever. Get up. Now, she doesn't come back to her seat. She's talking to the other kid in the other row. She's now doing whatever. She's going back and forth. She then realizes, the baby can sit on our laps or stand, between their legs on the seat there because it's got the extra room and stuff. So she's sitting at the aisle seat. The husband's sitting in the middle seat with the baby for the rest of the flight. So it's like, all right, fine with me.
Basically, the situation that should have happened from the start.
Correct. Flight goes on. We start to notice at the beginning of the flight when they take off, everyone's trying to connect their phone to the Wi-Fi, and it's not working. And it's the way United does some of this now. If they don't have the TVs built into the seats, that all the Wi-Fi is streaming. I'm sorry, not all the Wi-Fi. All the entertainment, in-flight entertainment is streaming. So you connect to their service, you pay for the Wi-Fi, and then so you can do texting and internet stuff. But if you don't, you still have the app connected to the United Wi-Fi, and you can pick movies and games and music and stuff to stream. Wi-Fi is not working. Other people I see are doing the same thing. So I hit the call light, I almost said stewardess. The flight attendant comes over, and I said, "Excuse me, is there something with the Wi-Fi? Because everyone seems to be having a problem here." She said, "Yeah." She goes, "There seems to be a bit of an issue." She goes, "Mine just connected, so just you keep trying, and it should come, should eventually connect." I'm like, "Okay." And as she says that, bing, the male flight attendant in the front for first class gets on and says, "Hello, everybody. Just so you know that the Wi-Fi is down and will not be available for the flight. Thank you." And then hangs up the thing. Like, what? So now I'm about a row away from first class. So I see him walking there before they shut the curtain, and I go, "Excuse me," and they're like,
"You can't look here."
It's like I was like, "Excuse me," and I'm going like this. I'm like, "Excuse me," and he said, it's like, "Just hit your button, your flight attendant." I said, No, you come here. And he said, "What's wrong?" And I said that, "You come here." And I said, "That announcement you made with the Wi-Fi, right?" I'm like, "It's for the whole flight?" "Yeah, we don't have Wi-Fi." "Did anyone check before the flight when everything was getting checked and examined and cleaned? Did anyone check the Wi-Fi?" "No." And she goes, "We didn't know there was a problem." "Did they test the Wi-Fi before the flight? Did you?" "Oh, nobody tested it." So now we have an over 4-hour flight with no in-flight entertainment. People can't, or I guess some of the food menus, like if you're ordering like drinks or specialty stuff, you can do through the app as well. And it's mostly for like if you're ordering like a vegan meal or like they have a fruit and cheese plate, like those kind of things. You can't do any of that stuff because nothing's connecting. She goes, "Yeah," he goes, "Yeah, sorry." Like rather dismissive, and then walks back to the front. So I'm like, this is not gonna do well with me. So of course I reported him and the flight after that in the cab back, and they gave me a credit, which was nice to use on board for future flights. Back to that flight coming home, it starts getting ungodly hot, and I'm thinking, what's going on? Is it just me? And then I see a couple, as I look down the aisle, a couple rows behind me, there's a guy with the fold-out safety procedure pamphlet, menu, whatever you want to call it, going like this. And I see other people too. So I get up to go to the bathroom, and I speak to the flight attendant. I go, "Is there any way that you guys can adjust the temperature, because everyone's really hot?" And she says, "Okay, yeah, no problem." So she picks up the phone to call Mr. Sassafras in the first class up there, because I guess the climate controls are up there. And she's very nice. She goes, yeah, passengers are requesting to turn down the thermostat. This is all I hear. Okay, but everybody's saying it's way too hot. Well, okay, but they're asking me to tell you to turn down the thermostat. Thank you.
See, what you're not hearing is that guy complained about the Wi-Fi. He can go fuck himself.
No, so she hangs
tell
up.
him to sit down.
Hangs up the phone, and then she goes, "All right, he's going to do it." And I said, "Thank you." And I said, "What was the issue?" And she goes like this. You know when you can tell that they're angry, but they're smiling through the anger.
Right.
She shakes her head and he goes, "Somebody up there was complaining that it's too cold and the heat need to be up. So he said, well, I'll turn it down to 72." And I went, 72? How hot was it up there?
Holy shit.
So I go back up to the front and I go like this again. I go 70 or 68. 72 is not going to cut. Well, sir, people are cold up there. I said, I don't give a shit if people are cold up there in the front. Wear a jacket. You guys have blankets. There's no blankets back here.
I was going to say, give them a blanket.
I said, people are waving themselves with the safety pamphlet. So, okay, sir. It's like, the attitude, the gall, if you will.
I was going to say. That is...
I sit back down. The rest of the flight's fine. Get back there. Get my luggage. Get everything. Now I'm going to get an Uber to go home. Uber to go home was like $37, but it was pretty hectic at the airport, and it was going to be a while before any of the... And there's usually like you're in a major city, so there's usually Ubers and Lyfts everywhere, but something was backing it all up, and it said it was going to be a while. So I see the taxi stand, and I walk over to the taxi, and I ask her, I said, no, here's where I'm going. And she's punching it into her iPad thing, and then she goes, $58. I said, Uber's $37. We're not Uber, sir. I said, I know you're not Uber. You're licensed commission by the Port Authority, which is both New York and New Jersey. So, like, you should have something that, like, there's no reason this should be $58. Well, I'm stuck, so I fine, $58. And he goes, and then you're responsible for tolls and other stuff or whatever. And I go, that's great because there's no tolls. That's fine. We're in the car. I see where the guy's going. I said, oh, can you take this route, please? No, I can't. Why? Because the GPS thing is telling me I have to go this way. I go, right, but I'm telling you, you can go this way. It's the back end, and there's no tolls. There's no any of that stuff there. I can't do that because once it's set into here, I have to follow that route. I go, that's not true because it changes based on the traffic. It's not like this is a hard route it's not like an armored Brinks truck. You can't, defer through back roads.
I can't deviate, sir.
Right. It's not the presidential detail. It's like you can take this back road. Wouldn't do it. He bypassed it, goes onto a highway where now I'm paying a toll to go on to the Garden State Parkway where I'm paying another toll. I'm sitting there, get to my place. I'm annoyed. He has the little phone device thing that they give you, whatever it's called, but it looks like a phone, right? Mm-hmm. He's going through. He's finalizing the trip. It goes to tip. And he thinks he's being smooth. Doesn't think that I see that he does this. The page starts up here. It says 10, 15%. Next line, 20, 25%. Next line, 30, and other. He goes like this. Well, I mean, I don't have this thing, but he just goes like this. He picks up the phone and then scrolls it up a little bit to hide the 10 and 15%. So when he goes, so he has my card. And he goes, what would you like to do here? And then it says, so now he's doing it, making me like he's trying to force me to pay him more out of embarrassment or some kind of pressure in a social situation by doing this. It says 20, 25, 30. And I said, oh, yeah. I said, okay, scroll it back a little bit and let's hit that 15. Oh,
you actually told him that. Like, yeah. I would have just said, let me see the thing. I would have just done it, hit the button, and then be on my merry way. I don't want that interaction.
Had he said, hey, what would you like to do? I would have said, oh, could I have that, please, so I could put in my information. I saw the little swipe where he got rid of the 10 and 15% to scroll it up.
Right.
So it just was the higher tipping stuff. So now it's like he's trying to put that pressure on me in a social situation where he just goes, oh, it's like I'll feel embarrassed and I'll feel like I'm obligated to give him a higher tip. So I go, no, let's scroll it back to that 15% and go with that. Okay, you sure? I was like, yeah. My whole trip cost me $75 to get home.
I would have gone to other and then undercut him and be like, this is for not listening to my instructions.
But I was waiting to see if he would say something after I said that, and he said nothing. And the reason I would have given him if he would have said, well, it's, if he would have said like it's customary or standard is 20%, it's like customary is listening to the directions of the person you're driving home and telling you to go that route and you don't do it just so that you go through the route where now I have to pay for all these tolls, which I never go those highways to get home ever.
Your tip was spent on tolls.
Yeah.
That I could have avoided.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So I get out of the car. Here's what else he does. So it's, those van taxis, so the double sliding doors. So I slide the door open. I grab my bag. He hits the button, and he's now on his device doing whatever. The back part of the van opens up. He's not taking the bag out. Now it's like he opened that thing up, couldn't have been more polite to get me into the cab. Now because I did all that, he just opens the trunk, and now I have to get the bag out myself. I'm like,
well, yeah, 20% gets the bag service.
It's like, you fucking asshole. Like
15%, you're lucky he even opened it for you.
Screw him. So, yeah, that was kind of shitty on that whole thing.
So traveling for you is always an issue. How was was the trip good? I don't know if we want to go into too many details, but trip was okay, good.
No, the shows were fine. In about half an hour, the show goes live that you can stream over at Normal World if you want to do that. Nice. For those who are listening on demand, go over to Normal World on YouTube and you can see. So Wednesday, I was a guest. Thursdays, I was hosting. Because Dave had a previous engagement, so they asked me if I would come out and guest host. So I said, yeah, absolutely, and that's what we did.
I was going to say I was going to start watching it yesterday, but I, like I said, had to have a pity friendship and then hang out with you and Rob for a while. So,
oh, that's right.
I'm gonna catch up.
I did say I don't need your pity friendship. I forgot all about that.
Disappeared for like 4 minutes.
The trip was fine. Texas is great. I went back by that Whataburger that was closed last time.
The one that was closed?
There. Yeah. So I was, because you had asked me, I think it's like, did you go back to try Whataburger? And I said, no, I really.
I was asking if you were going to, like, I think when we discussed this, because you were originally supposed to go to Texas last month.
Supposed to go in December, and then they had a schedule change and then moved me to January. And then
and I had asked if you were going to even try to get back to Whataburger.
I went over. I needed a couple of toiletries and stuff for the hotel room for my extended stay. So there was a Walmart nearby, so I just had an Uber take me over to Walmart. And I guess I didn't notice it last time, but the Walmart is back in the area where all the restaurants are along. What is the highway called? The LBJ Highway, Lyndon Baines Johnson Highway. The whole side of the highway at one point is just every fucking fast food or convenient food chain imaginable. Both sides of the highway, it's everything. Mm-hmm. Everything is there. Tucked in the back is a Sam's Club and a Walmart. So, all right, going over to Walmart, and I see the Whataburger. I said, could you just do me a favor? Could you just swing through the parking lot real quick? And he goes, well, you're going to stop here? I said, no, I just want to see if this thing's open. It's still not open. It was like 7:30 at night, which is, all those places are jumping because it's dinner time. Mm-hmm. Closed, lights on, still in the store, like it looks like it's been abandoned.
I was going to say, because a Whataburger, especially here, is 24 hours.
Right.
So in theory, you should have been fine no matter what time it was to get, your green chili double.
Didn't happen. Did not happen. So...
last time you went was October, so it's been like 3 months.
I wasn't looking to go to Whataburger anyway. I just was curious. I didn't realize it was in the area that I was at, and I said, let me just see if it's open, and it still wasn't.
Now, not looking to go, but had that been open, would you said, okay, I'll get out here, and that's when you go get some food? Because I know you were kind of thinking about getting food or anything.
No, I know. No, I also found out on the other side, going the other direction past my hotel, is a In-N-Out burger, which I have not had since 2015. So I said, that is the meal tonight. I went over and got In-N-Out, and it was...
Can't go wrong. Probably spent like $8.
The burger was delicious. I gotta say, animal-style fries, overrated.
I had them once, and I'm like, no, I don't need it like this.
Yeah,
and those fries are so hit and miss. Like, you got to get them perfectly hot and salted, and you got to eat them first, because if they go cold even a degree, they're just the grossest French fries. Like, I don't like that dynamic.
Real quick, Rob is saying, what do we have to do to get a peek at Eric's Uber rating? I don't know. I'm curious to see myself now.
He's like, I don't know.
Where do you find your Uber rating? Like, I barely use this app. I only use it when I travel, so I don't know.
You would think it would be either in like your profile or your settings.
4.91 is my rating.
And that's out of 5, right?
Out of 5.
Oh, that's not bad.
Wonder if it can tell
the amount of complaining you've been doing, that's not bad.
I usually don't have a problem. And I, like, my entire time there, anytime I had to go somewhere, it was all Uber, all the time. So, and I usually give 5-star and a nice tip, because those people are working hard, and they're very polite in Texas. So, it was a bit of a pleasure to use the Uber service going from here to there. So yeah, the Whataburger was still abandoned, it looked like, but the lights were still on. Weird. It was all locked up. Nobody in the parking lots. Nobody in the drive-thru. Outside lights not on. Inside lights all still on. I did In-N-Out burger. The next night, went to dinner with some people, and it was a really upscale Brazilian steakhouse. And I love Brazilian steakhouses where they do the rodizio. You have your card. There's just rotating, skewers of meat and machetes cutting everything off. It's just the best food service probably in the world.
And I know you've talked about it before too, and you're always like, no. You always say no to the first couple rounds of the meats, because that's the cheap meats. You want that later meats. Oh, that is my timer. Hey, Instagram, you have about 5 minutes before you cut off. So come hang out with us in Twitch or YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Let's put that banner up there for it. So, yeah, if you're watching on Instagram, this doesn't affect the radio people, but if you're watching on Instagram live right now as we're doing the show, make your preparations, get everything together. We're about to land, and please come over to YouTube or Twitch to our live rooms. Who knows? We get some news later how much longer Twitch will actually be around, but hop into one of those rooms and join us live for the program. All right. So I'm at the Brazilian Steakhouse. Food's incredible. They had this garlic steak that was to die for. They've got the sirloin with the cheese oozing out of it, which is, I don't know how they do it, but it's just amazing. They had a peppered sirloin that they were cutting off. Like, every time something was coming around, you're just like, this just keeps getting better and better. This place did not do the chicken livers, which I was ecstatic for, because I hate seeing that come around. They had like the bacon wrapped turkey, the bacon wrapped chicken, all the top, like, you usually stay away from the first round or two of the meats that come around, because that's just to fill you up, and then you go for the good stuff. They brought over, he's like, this is our specialty, and it's a seasoned top round. You just looked at the thing, and I'm like, I want to take this skewer with the 3 chunks of meat on there, and I just kind of want to hang it like in a position of honor, like above a fireplace, like you would a musket or your grandpa's like military sword, like if he was a Marine, right. the decorative swords. You would want to display it somewhere proudly, looking at how fantastic and delicious this meat was. He cuts it off, and it's one of those. It's like an M&M's commercial. It melts in your mouth, and you're like, this. Do
you have a preferred meat that you always look for and you want the garlic more steak of compared to the other?
The garlic steak is great.
That sounded really good.
But the top round was probably the winner tonight. Whatever they did to season it, you take a bite of it, you're just tasting salt and melted fat and the meat, and it's just in its basic form. It's so very primal, and it's better than almost everything out there in this world as far as things that you can eat. It was so good. Now, there was one point where they have in the center of the restaurant, it looks like essentially like some seafood restaurants would have like a raw bar, right?
Right.
So it's a big square, ice setting, everything on top of the ice, and it's all kinds of different hors d'oeuvres, salads. There's random seafood stuff there if you wanted to get some kind of crab legs or shrimp or things like that. To the side of the center bar was a separate bar that had like scalloped potatoes, rice, some kind of weird mashed potatoes, which were delicious. And then this light hit a platter, like it was a golden beam of sun coming through the clouds from heaven, and you're hearing angels.
After like a nice storm, it's just an opening, and it's just like beating down on it.
You're hearing angels sing as you turn, and this catches your eye, and now you are fixed at looking at this. May I present to you one of the most amazing platters of bacon that I've ever seen in my life.
It looks perfectly cooked. It's when you showed me this last night, I was like jealous that you got to even have any of that.
Lucy Moody, like the beam of light in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yes.
Right.
Yes. It's
perfect.
Exactly that.
See, Eric's got a little staff. He sticks it on there, and all of a sudden it lights up the bacon. And he's like, there it is.
I'm finding the map right to the center of this steakhouse. So I see this platter, and I'm like, oh, is it all? It looks amazing, but as I'm getting close, I'm like, is it all? You know how they have the thin cooked bacon? It's always greasy and flimsy. No, it's all thick cut, perfectly cooked bacon.
Looks great.
I'm getting my salad wedge, and I'm like, you know what? I'll grab a couple pieces of this bacon here to break it up and crumble onto it. Get back to the table. Everybody got some bacon. We're going to try it. And we exactly, that's what I want to do. Lucy, just grab the plate and run. Absolutely.
Imagine you're loading your plate up. Everyone's like, can I get some? You're like, no. I need somewhere to put my garlic steak on top of, like a little bed.
That could be the show title. Grab the plate and run. Well done, Lucy Moody. So we go back to the table. Everybody's got their food. They even have devil eggs, which were amazing. And that
sounds weird because I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's not normal for a Brazilian steakhouse to have that. But alas, there it was. Everybody's trying the bacon almost at the same exact time. And as they all bite into it, everybody's demeanor changes. We bite into it like, oh, this sounds, it seems perfect. And you bite down into it and you go, everyone pulls back and kind of looks at each other and looks at the bacon. It's a candied bacon, but it's not like a sugar cured in the sense of, some sugar cured meats.
Yeah, like a little brown sugar on there.
Yeah, something like that. Sometimes maple flavoring. And then, of course, you got, whatever, like fruit wood that you'd smoke it, right? Apple wood or what's the other fruit wood that they use?
Sometimes they use... God, no,
I'm forgetting, but it's not important. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes bacon can be candied, and you get it. This was different. So I asked, when the waiter came around with the drinks, I said, can I ask you a question? I'm like, what did they do to the bacon here? What is the seasoning with this? It's churro bacon. Churro bacon. Now,
that sounds good, but not if you weren't expecting it.
No, it tastes like, it's one thing if you're having bacon with pancakes, right? And you dip your bacon, or it gets some maple syrup from the pancakes on there. It's fine. It's delicious, right? It's another thing where if you're eating churro seasoned bacon, it seems like you were eating your bacon and you dropped it into a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Both fantastic, but you kind of don't want them together. Not together. So
I don't know. I have a different palate, I guess, because it sounds good. I would do it, I just, if I was expecting a different flavor profile and I bit into that, I would be kind of upset because, like I said, that is almost like a perfect looking piece of bacon.
It is.
All of it does. But if I'm not expecting, sweet cinnamon sugar, then I'd be disappointed.
Heather saying so cinnamon bacon. Yeah, it was whatever else is it. It's churro is what? Brown sugar and cinnamon?
It's just cinnamon sugar.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Was not what I was expecting, but it was a bit off-putting, I'll say, because it felt more dessert-ish than you want some savory bacon. And, I'm about to have a...
Was it salty at all? Like, you would think it would be a little salty at least.
Not really. It was more sweet bacon than it was. It is a bummer because it looks fantastic. It's thick cut, cooked to perfection, except it's seasoned with that. And, I'm about to have a festival of rotating meats come my way, and I can't be bogged down by candied bacon.
I'm not going to lie. Festival of Rotating Meats also is a contender for show title, I think.
All right. I'll write that one down as well.
It's a good one. Not to take anything from Lucy.
And that is documented. So anyway, so the Brazilian steak place was good. The trip to Texas was good. Everything was to the nines, if you will.
Oh, here we go. Watch this.
Did they do the pineapple with cinnamon and sugar too? Yes, they did. In fact, they brought it out a little too early, and I said I would rather have that towards the end. And the guy said, "Okay, just signal for it when you're ready." I said, "Fantastic." Had my plate of meats. It was delicious. They made their own homemade hot sauces. Because the waiter came over and was like, "Would you like to try do some of this with our homemade hot sauces?" Homemade hot sauces? Yeah. It was a hot red. It didn't look like a typical red, like a Frank's Red Hot or whatever. It was almost like orange. Mm-hmm. It looked almost like a vodka sauce color, right? Huh. And then they had their green hot sauce. So we're trying it. I'm putting on some meat. It was amazing. Like, I don't know how they reverse engineered hot sauce, but you know how sometimes you can have a hot sauce, you eat it, and it's like, oh, this is fine, whatever. And then on the back end, it hits you.
It's got a slow build.
It's the reverse. The second it touches your tongue, you're like, oh my God. Like, you jolt from it. And then as you're eating it and it's done, there's no aftertaste. There's no kick in the back. There's nothing.
I love when you come more toward my area of the world because then you get exposed to new salsas.
Yeah.
You get exposed to new flavors that maybe you're not getting readily available on the East Coast. And it makes me happy. Like, I just want to start sending you more things with those kinds of flavors.
Yeah. I still have to try that. I still have the Frank's Red Hot dill pickle hot sauce.
Yeah.
That I haven't opened yet. I need to do that.
We'll do that on the consumer. I would like you to try that.
And then I was getting some stuff for the room, and I said, you know what? I'm in Rome here. I'm going to do some Mexican stuff. The store that I was in it was nice to see, like, there was just a row of all Spanish type food, Mexican food, what have you. And it wasn't labeled like the specialty area in the stores, like
foreign area where it's like soy sauce and Asian food and then Mexican food, and it's like very small.
Yeah, so this was just a regular aisle, and all the different quesos and salsas and it was just, I'm just walking through. I'm like, this is amazing, and I had to narrow it down because there were so many, and it was down to this restaurant style medium hot salsa. And then something that none of us, I think, ever heard before. It was tacos truck style salsa. And it was chipotle in a adobe sauce. Now, Jordan tried to correct me. He's like, you mean adobo? And I know what adobo is. I know the seasoning.
Right.
No, it said adobe sauce on the label. I don't know what that was, but Jordan recommended, he's like, I think you should try that. It's something you haven't had. And I'm so glad that I followed your advice because it was fantastic. It's a brand called Texas. Locally made in the state of Texas, award-winning, all of this stuff here. But the one in purple is the taco truck style chipotle salsa in adobe sauce. So I was like, all right. And it was amazing. Got it with the cantina style chips, so it wasn't so heavy. It was fantastic. Another product I tried while I was out there apparently is very beloved to the state of Texas. It's a brand called Best Made, and they make pickles. I've heard of this before, and I've heard some people say that they love it. So I got a couple. They had the smaller jars, so I bought a bunch of the smaller jars to try. I do not like this brand at all. I don't know what happens outside of the Northeast that people can't figure out pickling to do it the right way.
Right.
The dill pickles were very salty and a bit bitter.
Now, I see that my friend Aaron is in the chat here, and I'm glad he's here for this particular talk. Best Made is the same pickle brand that made the pickle beer that I thought was atrocious, and I hated every second of drinking any of that. And it's Best Made is the one, gross. It's it's the same brand, so I'm glad you hated it.
It was terrible. Retro Gamer in the chat saying bread and butter chip pickles for the win. I do love a good bread and butter pickles. There's a place near me that makes bread and butter pickles with a hint of horseradish in the brine. Fantastic. So the first three I got to try, and we'll do this when we bring back the consumer. But left to right are the dill pickles, sour pickles, and Best Made extreme hot pickle bites. I got those. The extreme hot just tasted like whatever peppers they were using down there, and it didn't really taste like pickle. It just tasted like, you know how certain peppers, if you get the juice and the seed, that's all that you taste, and it removes the flavor of everything for you. That's exactly what those pickles were. The sour pickles, I still to this day, I did figure it out last night. I forgot. I couldn't describe it. It's not hard for me to figure out what something tastes like if it's bad. And I had to sit on it for a while and think about what it was. I know, fat jokes. We'll pause. It was just it was bitter and off. Like I couldn't narrow down what was so wrong with the flavoring of the Best Made sour pickles. And then it came to me. It tasted like they pickled it. You know what that Praz dye for the Easter eggs?
Yes. Yeah, the Paz.
Paz.
Yeah,
that's what it's P-A-A-Z.
Yeah.
That's what it tasted like. They brined the pickles in the Paz Easter coloring formula. It was,
which is just like vinegar and like that tablet.
Yeah, but the vinegar's always off because I know you add white vinegar to it, but something happens with that tablet that you drop in, and it kind of changes the chemical composition of the white vinegar. Mm-hmm. That's what it tastes like. It tastes like you were dipping the pickles in Easter egg dye. It was so gross. So, by the way, I had a suite for my hotel room, had a little kitchen and stuff in it. The people that have to clean that room, I left a ton of food product on that counter. You would look at it and go,
they're eating good for a month.
Yeah, so I just left everything there. It's like, help. With a note, I said,
they're all like, this guy was only here for like a day and a half. Why is so much food here?
I just said, help yourself, so I did that. The other beer made pickles, and this ties in, I guess, to your beer thing, is Best Made beer pickles in association with something called Martin House Brewing Company, the Salty Lady. So I'm guessing this is the beer that you tasted, but these are the pickles in that beer.
Yeah, I can't remember who the brewery was, but yeah, I think it was Best Made was the pickle company that they partnered with to make the pickle beer.
Yeah.
And I did not like it.
So, yeah, it was, it tasted like, like when you're in port and the ocean has a bit of a brine foam on it next to where the ships are because of the rust or whatever from the boats mixing with the
what a weird way to describe it, but yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what these tasted like, and it was extremely salty and gross. And I was so disappointed because I've heard people talk about this Texas brand of pickles saying that they love it. It was all awful. All awful. And talking with Rob, because he's a bit of a pickle connoisseur, and he said, it really is disturbing when you travel around and you figure out how people just don't understand pickling. They just don't get it. They think you can do it, but there's just something to it that they're all missing. And this is one of those scenarios where this was just unnecessary.
Yeah. I've done my own pickles before, but you're right. Even when I do them, like the flavor's okay, but I always feel like there's just something missing. Like I didn't add enough something, or like there's a something not in there that should have been in there.
Right.
It's an art form. It really is. To really nail down a
More
good
like a
pickle
fart
flavor.
form, right? Am I right?
What a
Everybody?
great transition to nothing.
So yeah,
You're
leave it at that.
gross.
So that was the Texas trip. It was fine. All good. Got back today, crashed for a bit, and then doing the show as we are now.
Nice.
Let's move on because we have so many things to talk about.
I was going to say, really, before we move on, our friend Blue Shorts put in a nice little super chat on YouTube.
I did?
A while back. I figured we'd address it after Texas. You want to scroll up a bit. Here, I'll show it on the screen there.
Oh, this is Blue Shorts?
That's Blue Shorts.
Blue Shorts is a guy from the Fan and I don't know if does he still work there?
I think he was laid off, and now he's doing his show with Othello.
Okay. Oh, right. He's doing the podcast with Othello.
Right.
Two guys who don't know how to do a podcast. That's what the name of the podcast.
Their quality's gotten a little better.
It is. They
I like it.
They figured out how to stabilize the camera, and they sit centered into it, so they're growing. Just kidding, guys. You guys are fine. I saw your Rich Voss interview. It was good.
I laughed.
Hey, boys. Well, that's an old O&A reference. Erik, how's Ant feeling now that he's on the mend? Bouncing back okay. I'm behind on Compound episodes. Only saw that he's done a few shows. Thanks and love you for the $10 super chat. Compound is another property that I work for with Anthony Cumia, who I used to work with on the Opie and Anthony show. Now I work over there with him for his network. And he came back last week from his studio in South Carolina, and now he's back in New York for a couple of weeks, and he did his first shows back in New York this week. He's doing good. He's out and about. Look, when you have a quadruple bypass, it takes a while. Yeah. It literally kicks the shit out of you, and there's a lot of recovery, a lot to do, a lot to. From what I understand, from what I was reading, you got to learn to breathe again. In some cases, it's retraining your breathing early on, and then it's your endurance. Like it's almost, if you were able to walk several miles, you can't walk down the street without getting winded, and then you got to build up your endurance and all that. He's doing fine. He looks great. He's doing good. So thank you, Blue Shorts. Thank you for checking in. What else do we have here? Was there anything else from the chat before we move on? Our pal Tom from Alberta. Where are you trucking this time, my friend? I've been suggesting them to you for years. Dr. Wickles Dirty Pickles. I've had those. They're not good. They're not good. They're just another brand. And you know what? They're not refrigerated pickles. They sit on the shelf. And if you're going to get shelf pickles, the only one I ever would recommend, and that's in a pinch, is Vlasic. I know it's basic bitch kind of thing, but one, the stork is pretending to be Groucho Marx. How can you pass on that? Two, their pickle chips are fine. Their zesty pickle spears or the whole zesty pickles are amazing. But you try those other things like Mount Olive and B&G and all those other. Oh, yeah. They're all garbage. They're just terrible. And they're all full of food dye, too. Like when they're glowing ecto cooler looking. That is it green? Is it yellow? I can't really tell. It's sort of separating, but it's still together. I don't know what's going on in that bottle. Don't get that.
Yeah, I've definitely gotten to a point now where I actually do prefer the refrigerated ones. And I never was like that. I was just an off the shelf person. And then once you have like a Gorillos or something else with a little bit more quality to it, you're like, all right,
or
this is the way.
Or a quality place that makes them on its own. Support the local business and do that instead. Right. Just because they're in the supermarket, I know it's convenient, but look.
Okay, I've seen Wickles.
Even Clausen's is good. Sometimes you get the big container of the giant pickle spears. They're
just
the best.
Sit there and eat it all day.
I mean, I'm sure that's been known to happen once in a while, but also in passing, is like you go like, I want to eat something, but I don't want like crap. And you just go and grab a pickle spear or two, and you just sit there and you're watching a movie or continue on with your day. It's fantastic. But I've tried the Dr. Wickles pickles. That's almost like, I hate things that are cutesy in naming their food products. Like Wetzel's pretzels. They're terrible. Don't waste your time with all that stuff. Heather's saying, I like next to nothing. That is not true. It's kind of his thing. I do like things, but nobody wants to hear about the things that I like all the time. And in fact, I tell you when I like things. It just dazzled you with the wonder of rotating meats in a Brazilian steakhouse. I could not praise it higher.
This show would be a lot more boring if we heard about all the things he enjoys.
Right.
It'd be a long list of just boring stuff. No, thank you. I like when he's upset.
Everybody seems to do it. And then the ones who don't like it say, why do you complain all the time? Because if I don't, I have nothing to talk about. Because I'll tell you about things I like, but if you tune into a show when they're all just being nice and cutesy with each other and everything's fine and they love everything, I don't want to hear it. And I'm sure most people don't want to hear it. Dumb people want to hear that because they can't handle their lives and themselves. And they're like, I need other people to It's like, what is it? What Stuart Smalley used to do?
I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And gosh darn, people like me.
Yes, but what's
the daily affirmations?
Affirmations. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. That's what they need. They need an affirmation. I need a group think telling me my Monday's going to be okay. Oh my God. And it's like, I can't believe this happened to me in the store. And then this guy cut me off on the highway. Mercury's got to be in retrograde again. Shut the fuck up with your dumb astrology and your positive thinking. Nobody wants that. Stop posting memes of inspiration and tales of triumph as if it was yours. Because you know what that leads to? People not liking your account, blocking your account, or unfollowing you. Because you make people miserable when you're posting positivity all the time. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't a place for positivity. There's ways of working it in there to actually make people feel good. But when you're nonstop Facebook posting, Instagram story posting, even on Twitter, and you're just stealing memes, nobody likes that, and then nobody likes you. And then you wonder why you're having such social issues, because you can't stop yourself. Keep your mouth shut, your head down, and just move on with your day. That was unnecessarily mean by me, but point had to be made.
That happens a lot with you, apparently.
You want to get mad? We can get mad. You want to keep me going getting mad? We're going to get mad here. Let's get mad. All right?
Yeah.
Jordan, are you a dink?
I don't even, you saw, I have this on here. I don't even know what that is. What is that supposed to be?
A dink are people that are really annoying. When this trend started coming out,
yes.
There was a video about dinks. And all I could think of growing up is wow, that's racist that they're all going this, because dink was a racial term used, which I thought was used during the Vietnam War time. But every time I was doing a bit of a dive trying to find the origin, whatever, there's some truth in it being used in real life, and then there's other truth to it being used in Platoon and Apocalypse Now. That's where it's being credited to. So I'm like, was it a movie term that they used because they didn't want to say, chink because that means Chinese? Did they want something different because you're in a different part of the world? Was this a made up term for the movies? So there's a bit of a history in real life and then a bit of a history of being exaggerated for the movie. But either way, in today's world, can't be good if you're even alluding to something that could set people off in an offensive matter due to race, gender, whatever. Are you playing something? Can you hear that?
No, I lost you. Oh, you're gone. Audio is gone for Eric. He touched a button.
No. Can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are. I can hear you now.
All the snacks in bulk.
What just
happened?
That
was weird.
We're dinks.
Hold on. I swear to God, some music started playing. I don't know what it was from, and then the Dink video started playing.
Yeah, I got no audio on my side. All I know is that you went completely silent.
Hold on, I'm checking the radio. All right, so it played on the radio end, but it didn't play on the streaming end.
No, didn't hear it at all.
Chat, let me defer to the chat
weird.
real quick. Chat, did you hear anything playing? Did music play, or did you start hearing the video play? Waiting for the chat. This is always death. Talk to the audience. It's always death. No? Wow, that's weird. You heard me, but no quiet. Okay, so for some reason, the streaming end didn't hear it, but the radio end. All right, I don't know what happened. Apologies all around. We'll reset here. All right, what was I saying? So the DINKS video. So I'm thinking like, wow, racial term, what have you, and it's not. So DINK is an acronym that they're using as an online trending catchphrase. Stands for dual income, no kids.
Why do we have to have terms for everything?
And that's fine. Like you can, nobody needs to classify it. It's not like you need to fill it out on some kind of government form. Dual income, no kids. Oh, actually, incorrect. You do need to fill it out on one government form. It's when you're doing your taxes.
No, I was going to say it's your taxes.
It's like, are you claiming 0? Yes, I'm claiming 0. Okay. Are you married? All that dual income, no kids. That's a tax term. Fine. Using it as a social or a life term, go fuck yourself, because we're not doing this, and apparently it's happening, and I can't stop it, and I don't know what to do. So the original video comes out. Now, when I show you this, you're going to see where maybe you haven't seen the original video, but you're going to see everybody else that was doing their own takes of this video for whatever walk of life that they think they're being clever to highlight. So this video is I'm assuming they're married. It could just be two people who were doing a creative video. It's a guy and a girl walking, and it starts off with the girl talking over here and then the guy talking over here, cutting back and forth. It's really, I lose faith in humanity every day when I see people putting out garbage and then it trends, and then people are copying the trend, thinking that they're clever by doing a parody on that stuff. It's all empty, disposable content that doesn't matter. It means nothing. All right. So this is the original Dink video. We're going to watch this, and then I'm going to show you some offshoots. Because, of course, radio has to try to jump in on trends because they've got nothing else to do on their radio shows. But here's the original Dink video.
We're Dinks. We're going to get asked daily when we plan on having...
Are you hearing that?
No audio.
No. That was what I was afraid of. All the settings changed. I don't know what happened here. I do apologize. We're going to try
We're
this
Dinks.
again.
Of course we go on vacations without kids. I hate those videos. I hate I'm already mad that you're going to show this.
Okay.
These are the worst.
We're going to try it again. Ready? Here we go.
We're Dinks. We're going to get asked daily when we plan on having kids.
We're Dinks. Of course we're going to go out to eat every night after work.
We're Dinks. We don't have to ask our family for financial help or to watch our kid when we want to go out.
We're Dinks. We're going to go to Costco and buy all the snacks in bulk that we want.
Yeah, of course
We're
you
Dinks. We have disposable income to spend on whatever we would like and don't have to spend on a kid.
We're Dinks. I'm going to go to every football game and play 18 holes whenever I want.
All right. That guy is not doing anything involving a healthy lifestyle or physical activity. He's not going
He said golf. He's not doing anything. It's just
I'm going to
standing
go to a
around hitting
football
things and
game.
driving.
He might be a dumbass to go to a football game, but look, he's got no chin, but he's got a double chin. I don't know how that works. Usually they're fat neckbeard guys that outline it, but he's doing the goatee there to try to block the fact that his face just looks like somebody's pressed a squishmallow against a window.
He's doing the baloney Stark.
We're Dinks. We're going to get asked at every single family event what we're doing with our life.
Okay.
Oh, good pause.
I didn't. That's how the video ended.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's even worse.
Okay. I like Lucy Moody's here. We're Dinks. My head is way too small for my body. So this started a trend with the dumb Dinks video, right? Let me see what else we have here. So do we want to do... Here's what I have. I have videos about New York, and I have videos about radio. Which would you like to see?
Do the radio one, because it's infuriating.
It is infuriating.
Because you're right. They just want to jump on any trend they can.
Right. So this video comes from a show called The Morning Hang with Ryan Lang from 107.3, the alternative station in Cleveland, Ohio. Nothing good comes out of Cleveland, Ohio. Nothing good comes out of Ohio in general. It's a very problematic state. It might as well be the Springfield mystery spot. Like you go in there and just everything goes astray. Your instruments on your car doesn't work. The compass is spinning all over. There's no magnetic north. It's like when an alien ship's coming over here, the radios tune out. Like Ohio is just a problem all into itself. But anyway, this is radio people having to hop on because it's trend. We got to do it. We got to be part of there. We got to be trending and get our name out there. So hopefully they come listen to our show. Now, look, I don't know their show. Their show could be good.
I'm sure they're nice.
They seem like nice people. I'm upset they did this because they should think better of themselves and have more self-esteem. But alas, these are people in radio, so they don't really have that. Here we go. They're in radio.
We work in radio. No, we won't DJ your wedding.
All right, hold on. Look at that face, all right? Not this, but watch what he does. He goes, no, we won't DJ your wedding. And it's all something, he goes like this. Like, what was that here?
I'm disgusted.
That, you saw that, right?
Right.
Watch it again. Did somebody throw something at him? Did he get punched in the face by somebody who's invisible? Good for them if that was the case, but I don't understand that back into the left motion there.
We work in radio.
Is he drunk?
Yeah, we try to make it in TV.
We work in radio. Of course we have an inflated sense of self.
We work in radio. That song you requested? I'll see what I can do.
We work in radio. Of course we drink terrible coffee. Because it's free.
We work in radio. Of course we have a fragile ego.
We work in radio. Of course we have other side gigs. We work in radio. Of course we're also working on a podcast.
And then as she stepped into her home, she was murdered.
We work in radio. Of course we use the station vehicle for personal errands.
They work in radio. They don't know timing or editing.
Right? Like you can edit these things, yet they didn't.
You could reshoot it. You don't have to do that shit like Instagram stories where you pause or TikTok, whatever it is, you pause and then you continue it again, pause. You can reshoot it and edit it to look good. If you're going to go this far to do this terrible content, get your timing down.
At least make it look all right.
Reshoot it several times, get the audio working, and the editing. Tighten it up. Tighten up, ho. Not saying she's a hoe.
We work in radio.
Just throwing it out there.
This is terrible.
Thank you, Halfway Decent Vehicles. I like your name.
That's a
Rock
great
has
name.
a good point. Yes. ITP23 in the chat. Kill me now. Tom from Alberta. Do you think he belched? That could be it.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so there's that one there. You want another radio one?
There's more radio ones?
There's many more, but I only pulled two.
Yeah, do the second one.
All right.
I want to laugh at these other people.
I think this station is in San Diego. It's Real 92.3. It looks like a hip hop station or a rhythmic dance station, something like that.
I'm already upset at this one.
Here we go.
We're in radio. Of course I have family asking me if they could win $20,000 on a cruise show.
We're in radio. Of course we're going to hear The Weeknd's Die For You 10 times a day.
Claro, of course, we work in radio. Listen, what I'm trying to say is, I can't play your song even if you paid me. That's called payola. No mames, güey.
All right, quick sidebar. You ever watch Spanish broadcasters on television? They talk fine, they're enunciating whatever until it's a Spanish name, and then they have to over-enunciate it in the Spanish accent.
It's the Alex Trebek syndrome, where it's like he talks, and then he goes, Nicaragua.
Yeah, but he doesn't. It's weird that he does it. Like the Spanish anchors, you know they do it. You just don't know why they do it. Alex Trebek, it goes, why are you doing that? Makes no sense at all. But so when they're sitting there and it's like, flooding down in the Little Falls area of New Jersey, and there we send it to Angelina Martinez out on the street there. It's like, wait, why did you do that? Why did you specifically overemphasize the name and then go right back to American style broadcasting? I don't get it.
We're in radio. Of course my tia's asking me if she can get 8 tickets to Disneyland.
We're in radio. Of course I'm not going to the club unless I get paid.
We're in radio, so of course you gotta jump on these stupid trends.
Okay, good for him for admitting it. Good for him for this guy. I like him. Good for him for admitting it's like, yeah, of course we had to do it. Because
that wasn't their idea.
I'm thinking that now. This might not have been their idea. This might have been them mocking management, telling them to do this. I've seen management in companies that also send to their national, the national management sending to the brand managers for each region. Used to be operations managers, where they said, hey, here's an idea that's trending on Instagram right now. You should try to get your morning show to do it. And those idiots in that management level, if they just saw it on Instagram, it's either because their kid showed it or they found it, means it was on TikTok 3 weeks ago and it's already outdated.
Right.
So by the time it gets to radio to doing that, it's already weeks past and it makes no sense. But I can see that maybe I walk this back and I apologize to the cruise show on 92 Real 92.3. This might have been them mocking the fact that the company was making them do it, or the other trending videos of other radio stations who were seriously doing this. What is this? We work in radio. Of course we have a Tom. Tom, we can't do that. We work in radio. Of course, parp. What does that mean? Explain it to me. I want to know. I want the lull. Tom, we work in radio. Of course, we prostitute ourselves to afford our lifestyle. They have to. They have no money. Radio doesn't pay them anything. We work in radio. Of course, I exchanged an 8-ball for radio time. Wait, it's not 1994. Oh, fuck. Not saying that didn't happen, but I'm not saying that it did happen. Let's see what I'm in. Halfway decent vehicle in chat. There are a lot of Mexicans where I am, and they always do that like it's a nod to their homies. If they're doing it on the street and just in conversation or something, I mean, that's just probably a cultural thing. But they do it specifically on the news or entertainment reporting. I see it sometimes, too. The show with Mario Lopez, he used to be on Extra, and I forgot the show he's on now, Access Hollywood or something.
I think so, yeah.
There's a girl when they're doing celebrity news stuff there. If there's a Spanish name, a Latin name, something like that, they make it a point to overemphasize that name.
And you notice that it's only like with Spanish or Latin names. Like they don't do that with any other like names, like any German names or like Maria Menounos or whatever her name is. They don't go super Greek with that one. Like they don't do that kind of stuff. It's just the Spanish names.
Yeah. They here's one that they do all the time. Christina Aguilera.
No, don't.
Brand new single from singer Christina Aguilera. And you're like, it's Christina Aguilera. She even says it that way. She's from Pennsylvania. She's not from El Salvador or something like that, where maybe that's how you have to pronounce it down there. I don't get why they do that. It's just annoying. Because it's not part of a fluent... Look, people they come from Spanish-speaking countries. They have that accent because that's where they grew up and that's how they talk. Fine. I'm not knocking that. It's when you purposely enunciate those words or those terms in the middle of a regular flowing conversation that you're a pretentious douchebag for doing that. We get it. You're of Spanish heritage. You don't need to, to show off all the time because you said the name in the correct pronunciation. And you're like, just Luis Sanchez is out on the street right now. That's all he said. Luis Sanchez. And it's like, what is this? Am I watching Univision? What the hell just happened here?
En français.
Oh, no, Sábado Gigante. Remember the Saturday night show?
I love Sábado Gigante.
Sábado Gigante. Was that Telemundo or was that Univision?
I think it was Telemundo.
Telemundo. Remember the show with the fat guy who was always either in an ill-fitting suit or sitting in a hot tub, and he always had a hot host with him.
Oh my God, yes.
It was like,
I think he died recently.
I think it was just called like the La Chica and El Gordo or something.
Yeah, it was like El Flaca El Gordo or something like that.
El Gordo.
It was like the hot chick and the fat guy.
Lucy Moody. There you go. El Gordo.
Yeah, there we go.
Flaca. Yeah. I used to love Spanish programming. If USA Up All Night didn't have anything on that I gave a shit about, I'd flip over to Univision or Telemundo and just watch that nonsense coming from Central and South America. Fantastic program. Oh, our pal Gabby from Mexico. El Gordo y La Flaca. Yep. On Sábado Gigante.
I used to watch El Chupalín Colorado. In fact, I think they made Funko Pops of him.
There's a segment I did. Oh shit! I just closed out all that whole window. That wasn't good. There was a segment I did that I'm going to have to bring to this show. I did it a while back
go over the
when
week,
I
and
was
then
doing
what we hate about foreigners. Now, Eric, we shouldn't do that.
No, it was what was it? It was a game show. I don't want to give too much of it away, but there was a game show where it's just women in a tub trying to grab a piece of soap, and a guy's trying to prevent her from getting the soap, and it's just an excuse for people to sexually molest each other in a hot tub in a game show setting.
So basically, it's like all those like with Japanese game show type stuff where it's all just ridiculous premises. Like I saw one where it was, is this made of chocolate? And people would have to like go bite like a door handle, and it could be a door handle. Or it could be a chocolate door handle, but you don't know until you bite down on it. It was just like the most random fucking shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Yeah, I can't get into it now because that's going to too distract me. We're so far behind on everything else. But
okay, let's not do it.
Make a note, audience, and Jordan. At some point, we got to talk about the sexy game shows that were coming out of South America. All right. I want to show you one more Dink video. Now, I made a comment on this video, and the people who created the video wrote me back. And I wrote, oh my God, this is completely awful. And they said, it's no worse than people trashing it in the comments. And I go, but I can make it worse by playing it on my radio show. So I grew up on Long Island. Giddles, if you remember Giddles from the show, we grew up together on the South Shore of Long Island in the East Islip area. And Long Island is its own world, even though it's right next to the New York City area. It's its own world, and it's somehow worse than the Queens and Brooklyn accent, the Staten Island accent, the Bronx accent. Long Island just it's a bubble. There's so many people who never leave Long Island thinking it's the greatest place in the world. They don't travel anywhere. They're afraid to go into Manhattan. They just want to be living on Long Island for the rest of their life, and the rest of the world doesn't exist. Also, extremely conservative and racist is that area, and they're pretty ignorant in a lot of places. So they made a video called, what is this one called? We're from Long Island. It's in the same format as the DINKS video, and it hit a little too close to home because I knew people like this, but also it's still just terrible because it exists. So here we go.
We're from Long Island. Of course we're going to tell you to live on Long Island, not in it.
We're from Long Island. Of course we're going to tell you that your pizza bagels don't compare to ours.
Okay.
We're from Long Island.
They have the exact opposite problem. They're speaking too fast. You can't fully understand it, and their editing is too tight. Like there's no slow transition between. There's no impact of what they're doing. It's like blah 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 blah, and it cuts to the next thing. There's no impact of what they said and how stupid it's being. So this guy here, he's saying and goes, of course we're going to tell you that our, what is it?
Don't compare to ours.
Pizza bagels.
Your pizza bagels don't compare to ours. Nobody fucking cooks a bagel on a grill.
Is that a thing?
And that's the grill brush to clean it. You're not even using that. It's not the spatula to flip.
Like I'm already taken out of this video. The production is terrible.
Yeah, nice blended fade here in the earring. Stupid, whatever.
We're from Long Island. Of course, we'll brag about having 4 seasons, but then we'll start counting down to summer when fall starts.
We're from Long Island.
Did you hear that? Was that too fast for you?
No, something about fall. I don't know.
We laugh.
I do like how all the girls are walking around with glasses of wine.
Yeah. It's wine, or it's White Claws, or what's the Trulies.
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 starts.
We're from Long Island. Of course we have the best healthcare, schools, and safety because everyone's either a nurse, a teacher, or a cop.
We're from Long Island. Of course my dad's gonna get me a Jeep for my first car.
We're from Long Island. Of course we say we're going to move out of state, but we never will.
We're from Long Island. Of course we're going to complain if we have to transfer to Jamaica.
Okay. So, we're never going to move out of state. You don't leave Long Island. Like, there's like Mason-Dixon line between Nassau and Suffolk County. Those are two counties that make up Long Island. And they don't like the other one. There's no reason. You're all the same shitty people. And it goes for New Jersey, too. There's areas of New Jersey that are exactly like Long Island, and they sit there, oh, people from Long Island are garbage. Yes, people from Jersey, also garbage. Not all of them, but there's people like people on Long Island. You're the same fucking people. You just won't acknowledge it.
We're from Long Island. Of course I still live at home with my parents, but I bought a boat.
I like how he's holding I think it's like a White Claw type of drink.
Of course.
Like he's now, ugh.
Of course it is. And look at him wearing his, what are those matted bowling shoes? It's that brown matting, like when you used to rent roller skates.
Right.
Yeah, that horrible. It's like suede.
Yeah, it almost looks like suede, or there's a term for it. I'll figure it out.
I still live at home, but I bought a boat. That used to be how it would go, because people would choose not to move out of their house. They just didn't want to move out. Now you can't. Now they can't afford to move out. Now it's a situation
expensive.
where they just can't leave.
We're from Long Island, so if it's north of the Bronx, that's upstate.
We're from Long Island. We're a quick train ride to the city.
All right, hang on. So if it's north of the Bronx, it's upstate. Yes, that applies to New Jersey and people in the 5 boroughs of the city. You don't go to the city. They don't go near the Bronx. Grow up with your fucking marshmallow hoodie.
We're from Long Island. We're a quick train ride to the city, but of course we'll never go.
We're from Long
you're
Island.
Afraid of it.
Nobody can talk shit about it except for us.
Ew.
Gross.
Ew.
I can't even tell what that is. Is that like Long Island? Is that like a map of Long Island on his thigh?
Yeah, that's Long Island. Long Island looks like a fish.
I bet his neighbor in a garage put that on him too.
Somebody got one of his. Yeah, exactly. Somebody's like, oh, I got a home tattooing kit.
Yeah, I bought it off of Amazon for $50. Let's test it out.
You know, he sat on a rusted weight bench in the basement or the garage while this was going on.
Yeah, drinking his White Claw while it was happening.
Complaining about the Mets.
Ugh. You mean the Nye Mets?
LTP in the chat saying, is that throat cancer or a Long Island accent? It can be both. It can be both. Tom from Alberta. I'm from Long Island. Of course, I need rhinoplasty to fix my accent. Yeah, they all... Long Island is a very unique place. I have friends from high school and other parts of my life that live on Long Island still. And they ask, how come you don't come out to visit? Because it takes too long. It's technically not that far, but it takes you almost 2 hours to get out there from the New York City area. And it shouldn't. It's just because traffic and the highways are so terrible. Also, it's depressing. And I've also been asked, do you ever think you'd ever move back to Long Island? No. It took me 21 years to get out of there. And I don't ever want to go back.
It's funny because, like, between you telling me about how bad Long Island is and Giddles posting pictures to our group chat of threats on the subway and meth heads drooling all over the seats, I really don't want to come visit.
Well,
like,
that's
I don't
not
want to
Long
come
Island.
out there.
He's in Brooklyn.
No, I know. I'm just saying New York as a whole just sounds horrifying. Like, I've been to Syracuse, and this is good. That's good. I'm good. I went to Buffalo and to Syracuse. I don't need to stop anywhere else. Oh,
so dumb. All right, moving on. There's a trend going on. This seems to be the trend show of things. So there's a trend going on now, according to some news outlets, that Gen Z kids are posing in photos, like family photos, covering their face. So, like, if you're in a family photo...
Like just standing there like this?
No.
Or just...
They're doing the John Cena thing.
They can't see me here.
No, they'll be sit there and they go like this. If they're in the family photo. Like, there's like the whole family's together and they cover the nose portion of their face. So it's called the nose cover. So this article I found here, it says, what is the nose cover and why are Gen Zers doing it in family photos? The last thing teenagers want to do is pose for a family photo, but oftentimes parents force their Gen Z children to pose for a snap anyway. That's just life. You always... has it gotten that detached that posing for a family photo is now a problem?
Like, most of the time, you just get it done, get it over with, and be done. Like,
yeah,
don't make yourself the spectacle.
You know, if you're at a birthday party, a wedding, when there's more than, outside of your immediate family is all there, a wedding, Christmas, any kind of holiday, summer barbecue gathering, they're going to want to take a photo because it's not often the entire family gets there. So they take, candid photos and they try to line everybody up and you take a group photo. Not that hard, not that big a deal. So apparently they don't want to be in photos with their family anymore. So they have to do it because their parents are making it, I guess, and they cover their nose like this. So this says the Zoomer generation is covering the middle of their mugs with their hands in an attempt to keep their faces out of the picture while still sort of appeasing their parents.
No, it's ridiculous. Like, first of all, I think the reason why they can get away with it is I guarantee you they already have a good picture, but then they also have the bad picture because everything's digital now. We can snap 1,000 pictures. I would have never thought if my parents were taking a picture of us to do something this stupid on film because you're not getting a do-over. You probably have to pay for it. Right. No. It's stupid people.
It doesn't make any sense. But they're doing it, and apparently this is a growing trend. I just saw the article and I go, I've never seen this ever. This can't be correct. And then I looked online and I started seeing things like this. So Venezuela Fury, the daughter of boxer Tyson Fury, and her cousin Valentino have been captured shielding their faces from the camera on more than one occasion lately, raising the question, why? After several attempts to snap the perfect Christmas family photo, I turned to my teen and finally asked him why. Parent Michelle Harris told this whatever. Is everything okay? Why won't you show up in family photos for the handsome boy that you are? That's such a mom line. Good for that mom. For the handsome boy that you are anymore.
Such a handsome boy.
And then the big whopper. Are you being bullied? I don't think that's true. I'm not saying, why are you covering your face in a photo? Are you being bullied? Is that what you automatically revert to? That anything that something happens, that means bullying?
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Because like if it's a family photo, you're not exactly like just posting it everywhere.
Right. So the story continues here. But her son's response was a surprise, she recalled. No, but if you post pictures of me online without my consent, I will be. Teens nowadays are extremely online and often seek out embarrassing photos of each other on social media to, quote, roast them. Covering their faces is a way to potentially evade teasing. As parents, we want to capture it all, Harris said. The first step, every tooth, the braces, the spots. And then...
always zits.
Oh. And then we proudly post in the online social circles mindlessly without stopping to think how damaging this can be for your youngsters within their own online social groups. Okay, so when I initially saw this, I thought, this is stupid. What are these kids doing? And as I was progressing on this thing, I'm kind of on their side with this. I think a family photo is one thing. The random candid photos that parents take all the time. I've been complaining about this for years. When people... it's mostly women that do this. When you see their Facebook page turn into their profile photo is just their kids, and every other post that they have on there, if they're not answering, fake Facebook accounts or what you had this morning is your superpower, and that kind of those dumb questioning things, or they're trying to sell you some kind of pyramid scheme. It's like, hey, come work for me. I have 3 slots open where you can make $800 plus bonuses working from the comfort of your own home, or buy these candles or essential oils or any leggings, of that kind of nonsense. Yeah. They post their kids all the time. And it's really sad because it's you don't have anything in your life that you have to keep posting everything about your child. And I used to get mad with the kids when the parents were posting the kids with the blackboards at the beginning of the school year all the time, right? That drives me nuts. I know you did it. We've talked about that. But
the second I sent it to you, I knew I was going to get shit too. But I did it because I know how much you hate it.
But they're constantly posting. Now, there's times where you're posting like your daughter looks pretty, or my son looks handsome, or look how great this moment was. You're sharing it with your family. Older people don't know the privacy settings, and they constantly are posting all of this stuff. And I get that. I feel for the kids. Don't post their shit all over online all the time. I'm a big proponent, like for my kid, I'm not posting anything about them anywhere. There's a very secure little family group, for grandparents and aunts and uncles and stuff that are, sharing their grandkids, their kids, all that stuff. That's it. Nowhere else, because these kids grow up in a world now where their parents post their entire life, like their first 10 years of life is online. And you go into junior high and stuff like that, everything's there. You can't even defend it or choose to pick and choose what you want to present for yourself out there, because your parents feel the need, I need to post my kids in order to get attention on me because nobody pays attention to me. So I get this. It's a dumb trend, but that they're doing this. But now I'm starting to get it, and I understand, and I actually feel for these kids, because people are constantly posting their kids, taking video of their kids all the time. It's like, you gotta stop. You gotta stop, or at least be aware of it, or ask the kid. If the kid's of an age where they can understand what's going on, like 8 and up. Hey, I took this photo of you, being silly in the store. Would you mind if I put this up, to show grandma or something like that? Or you could just text it to them. You don't have to post it online. There's ways of showing this stuff. We got those picture frames. I know you just got
skylight.
One. You got one for your mom. I have them, for my parents and the other grandparents. Stuff, where if photos for the kid, I upload them to the picture frame. The next day they see the little white tab. They hit it. Now it's in their picture frame in their home, and they can see everything. It's not online.
Legitimately the greatest gift I think we've ever given her, because she, like, every day she's loading a new picture. I'll throw stuff up there, and she is over the moon with this thing.
Right. LTP in the chat saying, don't post your kids online ever. Yeah, I've been saying it forever.
There's a lot of celebrities that have decided not to do that. Like, I know Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr., they never post pictures of their kids. Every time their kids are in the photo, they always put like something over their faces. I know like Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard do the same thing. Like, hey, we're doing a family photo, but you'll never see them. So they're like, hey, we realize we're in the spotlight. We're not going to subject our kids to it.
Remember, they used to give shit to Michael Jackson when he adopted those kids.
The kids,
He'd have blankets over their face. Almost, they looked like hostages. But the kids were under a certain age. He didn't want their faces out there, and everyone thought he was nuts. And you thought, now when he was dangling him over a balcony, I'm like, all right, Michael, you lost me.
Yeah, but he was covered.
Yeah.
And that's the way to do it.
All right, see, now I'm split. And now I'm on a 50-50 thing here. It's like, I agree with this, but the dangling thing is not for me. I saw how the Eric Clapton situation worked out. Wasn't ideal. Let's not just have kids falling from, more than...
But think of the songs you can write.
2 feet off the couch.
Right.
So, people posting their kids and doing all this stuff. It's like, I'm a big proponent. Leave your kids alone. When they're going to get to an age where you're going to have to then parent them and keep tabs on what they're posting and say, hey, stop posting like you in these kinds of outfits or these kinds of poses and stuff like that. It's not appropriate for your age. Don't do that. Once they're 18, what the fuck can you do? But up until that point, you can interfere and be a parent. But set an example to show them that their entire life doesn't need to be documented online for everything, and they're already starting off at a deficit because for the first 10 years, usually 10, right? Isn't that when a kid gets a phone, usually around 10?
I just got my daughter her first iPhone. She's 12, but I mean, most kids nowadays are usually around 10 or 11.
Okay, but there's reasons for it. Like they go to they're involved in sports or dance or
right. You need some kind of way to communicate or something, or use it to track them.
Yeah, they're doing after school activities, sports activity, anything like that, and they need to contact you. Hey, I'm done. Come pick me up. That kind of thing. I get that, but don't start these kids off where you posted their entire life, and what you thought was a cute family moment is probably utterly humiliating for these kids when they get to be the tween to teenage years. So the whole start of this was like, wow, these kids are stupid. What new dumb Gen Z trend is this? And as you're reading the rest of this, you go,
yeah, I kind of see their reasoning.
You sold me. You sold me, and I understand. Now, you can take a family photo. You can ask your family, please don't post that. It's for everybody here, but just don't post it online. That's not a difficult request. At least it shouldn't be a difficult request when you're asked to not post that thing. I get it. I get it all the time. There's times when we had family stuff. There's times when we did stuff with O&A or whatever. We were out somewhere. We just took the photos for ourselves, and they were just like, yeah, don't post that online. Yeah, it's not for the world to see. It was just for us. That kind of thing. I get it.
I've definitely held back. Like, I used to do it a lot. And it was like my Instagram, and then, of course, my Facebook. And then I started shying away from posting everything on Facebook. I just don't care.
Right.
And then it's like, especially since my daughter has gotten older, I've shied away from posting too much for most of the online stuff. Like, me and the boy, we still have our fun and things like that. And most of the time I'm just sharing with you guys. Like, I don't post it online anymore, but and I'm kind of mixed. What I hate the most are these parents that post kids in their bathtubs. Like, knock it off. That's gross.
I've said that forever.
Oh, it's the worst.
Forever.
Like, I don't care what age. I don't need to see any of that.
That old school, it was a thing back, I think, the 60s, 70s, where if you had your kid at the beach and they had a little plastic tub, they're in there naked and, at the beach, it's a toddler, it's innocent, it's cute, it's fun. Or the bathtub, where the kid's standing up and he's wearing a soap beard and all that shit. You think it's cute. Right. It's not. Especially by today's standards, that's
child pornography.
I don't want to say it's child pornography, but it's definitely material for devious people.
Yeah,
out there. You don't want that online ever. Bad enough that they even took the photos. Don't take bath photos. It's not cute, and it's not like, oh, it's just for fun. It's not. Somehow, if it's on your phone gets hacked, or your iCloud service or whatever, and then it's out there. That is a terrible situation. Don't take photos of your kids, even half undressed. Don't. Yeah. There's no need for it. None. You can get other family moments at other times. You don't need that stuff. Don't do it. I had my younger sister FaceTimed once, and she's talking to me, and then she's like, "Oh, hold on," because her kid was yelling for something. Kid was in the bath with they make these giant like Crayola crayons that you can write on the
I've had
tile.
Those.
It's like soap, I guess. It's on the
it washes off real easy.
Yeah. So you walk in there, and then she wants to say hi, and I go, I just put the phone down on the counter. I'm like, call me back. No, she just wants. I don't want to see it. Turn it off. I'd hang up. She'd do it, and I'd hang up, and then I would get a text or a call later. What is your problem? Why are you being such an asshole? I go, I don't want to see that. It's fine. It's your niece. I don't want to see it. Don't want to see it. I will have to deal with that with my kid, but that's my kid. There will never be a photo. There will never be a video. There will never be anything remotely close to documenting anything like that. The closest you'll get, when she's older, diving into a pool. That's it.
I was going to say, this is the level of privacy, secrecy, and just control that Erik does have. Him and I have our own little personal chat. We talk about kids. He's a new father. I've got my own 2 kids. We go through a lot of stuff. Every now and then we'll send some pictures of our kids. Hey, look at this. Look, she did this for Christmas. Erik goes to the length of, here's a picture of her in this dress. Cute, very cute. And then he gets rid of it. So like, it's not like I can even access it like a day after he sent it. It's like, hey, look at this. Oh, that's cute. Boop, disappears from the chat. I'm like, all right. Good for you, man.
Yeah, I'm not that.
That is you're not even taking that risk for someone
No, I'm very, very uptight when it comes to that stuff. I don't have my family. I don't have any of that personal stuff out there. You see what I want you to see, or what I'm willing to discuss. Like, I used to get O&A fans. Why would you even bring that up on there? And it's like, they're just gonna shit on you. Yes, stupid. I brought the fucking topic up. I introduced half this shit for them to talk about. This is how dumb you are. It's like, you just keep your mouth shut, and now they're going to destroy you. Maybe it's a day we had nothing going on. Anthony talks about that all the time. It's like, there's times when, it's a slow news day, slow news week. We got to start, delving into the personal file in our mind and come up with stories and things to talk about to do all of this stuff. I put stuff out there.
Your photos.
This photo will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Yes, that's exactly what it
goes
is.
into flames.
That was a James Bond thing, right?
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible, right?
Every time, like, Ethan Hunt, here's your mission, and then like
this message will self-destruct, and then like acid, it just eats away the recorder.
It just goes away,
something.
Or bursts into smoke. You're on a plane.
Don't do that shit to your kids.
Yeah,
be a better parent. None of that is cute. None of that. It might seem in the moment. You don't need to document everything. You don't need to turn on the camera for every little thing that they do. Some things you do. And sometimes you wish, damn it, I wish I got a photo, or I wish I had the video going, because that would have been a great moment. But not everything. When people make videos that constantly include their kids, drives me nuts. Here's something.
Yeah, I've definitely, like, my kids are into watching like some of these YouTube videos, like with like parents and their kids. And the more I kind of see this stuff, I'm sitting there going, man, they are really exploiting these kids to do these like family channels on YouTube. And I'm like, I'm glad I never did that. I never went into any of that stuff. And it's just kind of ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. But I see so many, again, women that post videos where they're dancing with their kids, or they're doing some kind of trend and they got to put it out there. Oh, we're just having fun. Having fun doing it in the privacy of your house, where you're doing a dumb dance number or recreating a video that you saw online, is one thing. When then you got to then add to the trend, and I got to put it out on TikTok and Instagram and all these other things, you go, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop. Oh no, she's cool with it. Was this the kid's idea? Did the kid come up and say, hey, I want to do whatever that trend is, where I don't know the song, where they start off standing like this, they're like dun 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 dun, and then it turns into like a nightclub rave where it goes dun dun dun.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
dun, 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 like it's the jump cuts with the lights and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that where it's like family stuff going on in the house, and you're like, stop doing this. Stop. And also try to stop with the matching pajamas in your Christmas card. That's embarrassing for everyone involved. You and me having to look at it. Family photos, fine. Your kids and your dog. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. I get it. Traditional makes sense. Stop with the matching pajamas.
Oh, yeah, I don't do that.
Have some pride. Have some self-respect. All right, moving.
Get a hold of yourselves, people.
Get a hold of yourself. We had so much other stuff that we needed to talk about here, but we've gone so long. We'll have to wait till next week then with some of this shit, because there's so much in segment 2 we got to get on. All right, so be it. All right, we are going to take a break. When we come back, we got some unexpected Star Wars news. Twitch seems to be falling apart. As last year was bad, this year seems like it's going to be even worse for the Twitch streaming service. Who knows how that plays out for us? You know, I've been leaning like maybe we don't really need Twitch much anymore, because it just seems to be, unless you're hardcore gaming, it just seems to be like a useless outlet. It means nothing. You don't make any money. And I'm not just saying like from us, but I've talked to other people who are streaming 3-4 days a week, making content, whatever, and they're barely making anything for the amount of work that they're putting into it. It's just sad. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
More, it's Erik Nagel.
It's Erik Nagel.
Next.
Jordan. Everybody knows what the hottest color is right now. Do you know what the hottest color is right now?
Oh, gosh. Is it? I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. We saw the people going nuts in a Target trying to get Stanley Cups. It's one of those.
Oh, my gosh. Well, we got February coming up, so I would assume it's either pink or a Valentine's red.
Well, let's read the copy and see where it goes. Say I love you to your wife, fiance, girlfriend, sweetheart, daughter, significant other, whatever is in your life. Give them the world's best gift in a brand new color. Oh, this is a rose. I know where this is going. Ooh. Steven from Steven Singer Jewelers. That's right. The I Hate Steven Singer guy has made what may be the most coveted, fastest selling 24 karat gold dip rose. They're back. All right. In the history of gold dip roses. It's called Malibu Pink. The iconic color is in fashion, shoes, accessories, movies, and on television. Malibu, he's playing on Barbie. I get it. Malibu Pink is everywhere, and now is available in Stevens 24-karat gold-dipped roses, the #1 gift for Valentine's Day. Real roses in luxurious 24-karat pure gold, deeply dipped and hand-finished. Everybody loves a good hand finishing by skilled artisans to last forever, and they start at just $59 with free shipping, free personalized Valentine's Day card, and a free lifetime guarantee. If that thing starts breaking up or wilting or whatever is going on, how did the rose die in Beauty and the Beast? It shouldn't happen to these.
The petals kept falling off.
All right, the petals kept falling. Shouldn't happen to this because it's a petrified rose in gold. But if it does, Steven Singer has a free lifetime guarantee to fix and replace that rose for you. And it arrives in his signature gift box, so beware of the knockoffs, the copycats, and the fakes that aren't even real gold. Look, I've told you before about the other fake Steven Singer, the one who spells it with a PH, who has that 3-card Monty table on the other side of 8th and Walnut with the cheap knockoff roses that he's trying to undercut our pal Steven Singer. Don't go to that Steven Singer.
No.
Go to the real Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. IHateStevenSinger.com, or if you're in Philadelphia, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, go in and check out the showroom. All kinds of great stuff. Get it exclusively from Steven Singer. Again, IHateStevenSinger.com. Tell him that you were commanded to go buy a rose by his friend Erik Nagel.
It's Erik Nagel. Follow the show on all social medias at It's Erik Nagel for ways to watch or listen to the show, both live and on demand. Go to itseriknagel.com.
Hey man, it's Kevin Smith, and if you're not listening to It's Erik Nagel, what are you listening to? Clean out your assholes and your ear holes, man, and put Erik Nagel in both. That sounded way dirtier than I meant it. On with the show. Take it away, Erik.
Segment 2 of the show. Erik Jordan here with you to go over television, movie, streaming updates. We're giving you the skinny, as the kids like to say, to keep you up to date so that you don't have to worry about it yourself. What are you watching, Jordan? What do the people need to know is good?
I ended up watching Dreamer, the Dave Chappelle comedy special on Netflix.
Very good.
Of course, it's very, very funny. I ended up watching a new movie that's been out just briefly called Silent Night. It's a John Woo movie. It's a completely dialogue-free action movie that I didn't finish because that movie is hot garbage, and I turned it off after about 30 minutes. So I did not finish that one.
Okay.
I will not go back. It is horrible, and it sucks because it's got Joel Kinnaman in it. But it's like, his daughter or his family member gets killed, loses his voice, and the entire movie has no dialogue. Like, that's the whole point. Silent Night. It was boring, like really boring. So I didn't watch that. To occupy my time while I'm working, I throw stuff on the background every now and then. So I decided to restart Heroes, that TV show from NBC back in the
why?
2000s. I just wanted to see if I remember it being good. Like, it starts off okay, but I remember when it was out, like the second or third season happened during the last writer's strike. And that's why it went downhill and got real bad.
No, people thought they liked it because it was still on a national television, where you start to think. Back and then, you still had the mindset that things that are on national television during primetime are good. 2, the whole Save the Cheerleader shit. Everyone just thought that Hayden Planetarium was adorable, so they thought they liked the show. And then they realized when she was less involved in it, it's like, this show sucks. And the guy that's trying to cut people's heads over and anything looks like a weirder version of Artie, the world's strongest human being from Pete and Pete. And he's playing her dad. Like, the show was terrible.
Yeah, I'm not finding the magic that I remember it there anymore. And especially since I already kind of know where it goes.
Right.
It's like, ugh. So,
no,
and then I watched a quick little cartoon, Merry Little Batman. It was like a little Christmas special that they put out with Batman and Damian and all that stuff, and it was fun. It was a cool little Batman movie. So I enjoyed that. Other than that, not really doing much else. I've got a lot to catch up on. I still got to finish up the rest of Monarch. I need to start Echo. I was going to start it last night, never got around to it. So I'm going to probably binge watch Echo probably tonight. It's only like 5 episodes.
I'm in the middle of the 4th episode.
Okay.
And I will reserve my comments until you have finished it.
Okay. So I will definitely catch that, watch that. But that's about it for now.
Okay. Fair enough. I have watched that MASH documentary that you told me about that was on Hulu. MASH, the comedy that changed television. It was good. A lot of it, there was some stuff in there that I hadn't seen before, like press conferences and footage that was shot on set where they did interviews with other news organizations or something like that. But the rest of the material is all stuff I've seen before.
Yeah.
If you've never seen any of that stuff, it's all new to you, and it's fine. I recommend it, but everything I was watching, I was like, yeah, I remember this. I saw this. So it was okay. It was well done. It's just, there was nothing really new or exciting in there for me.
Yeah, so I was kind of afraid of, especially since, you and I both love like the older shows and older movies, stuff like that. Like we've probably done those deep dives already. So like we may not see anything.
I didn't transfer the photo over here, so I can't show you, but look on my Instagram this weekend at It's Erik Nagel. I was on the set of All in the Family.
Mm-hmm.
So out in Texas, in Glenn Beck Studios, he owns tons of movie memorabilia, television memorabilia, historical memorabilia, and he's been getting sets from old television shows because he owns like an old studio lot.
Mm-hmm.
And on one of the stages, you walk over, they turn on the lights, boom, there it is. The whole living room, dining room set from All in the Family. Archie and Edith's chair. Now, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. But I know for a fact Archie and Edith's chair are in the Smithsonian, and they've been there since the show went off the air. So I'm like, so how can he have the chairs if it's in the Smithsonian? Well, when All in the Family was done, and Norman Lear gave some of the set props or decor or whatever it is to the Smithsonian Museum, they made an immediate sequel to All in the Family called Archie Bunker's Place, where Edith had died, so he's trying to get on with life without Edith, and he bought a bar in Queens. So he's running a bar, and he's still in his house, so they still had the house set. They had to make duplicate furniture. So the chair of Archie and Edith are the duplicates from Archie Bunker's Place on this original set of All in the Family. And I walk in there, and it's a weird feeling because you know what it is, but you're standing there and you look at it and go, I've watched that show all my life.
It's like a weird bit of history that you're now reliving.
It's right there. And like you're looking at it and you're touching the chair and like, this is insane.
I was going to ask, like, did you actually get to like touch anything? Like, was it something where it's like, hey, come check this out, but please don't manhandle the chair.
Yeah,
don't sit in the chair. Don't do any of that stuff.
Yeah, they had that. They did, they want to preserve it because it's ancient as hell. So, they don't want to, they want to preserve it as long as they can. But yeah, when you're walking by, you can kind of just put your hand on the back part, like the top of Archie's chair. So you're feeling the material. You're looking at the decor. You're looking at the staircase going up. You kind of just want to walk up the stairs and flush a toilet because that's just what you want to do. And it was amazing. And
that's cool.
It's those little pieces of nostalgia is the right way to do it. When you can go see something and like touch it and feel it and experience it, it's fantastic. Like you can look at photos and things online and you just don't have that kind of connection. You walk in and I'm like, holy shit, this is the thing I watched all those seasons and all those years. And it's just amazing. I think the only other set that I might freak out about is if I walked into one of the other studios and he had like the bar from Cheers. If he had that, cool. I would have broken every rule and gotten thrown out of the place because I'm going to sit down on Norm's chair. I'm taking a photo, and then you can throw me out. Go right ahead. I don't care what happens to me after that. I'm sitting at that bar, or standing behind the bar by the cash register where Sam would stand.
It'd be a fun flex where if like you won the lottery and all you did was you have this giant warehouse where you're collecting easy chairs from your favorite sitcoms. So you got like the chair from Frasier where his dad was always in it. You got like the armchairs from Friends with Joey and
Just
Chandler.
Just gonna say the two black lazy
Archie
boys.
Bunker stuff. Exactly.
Where Jordan and I would sit there and you flip the handle and go, and then you flip it back, like you have to do that. You have to.
Yeah. You just
have
collect
to have
easy
that
chairs from all like
experience.
your favorite stuff. That would be funny.
LTP in the chat saying it's weird when you realize everything is super connected and you can see anything around the world. I'm trying to figure out how this ties into it, but I'm guessing it's just the experience of you walk in there and you feel it, you know it. It's like, wow, what this was a part of, and you're privileged enough to be in the same room that these. Other
This is a
people were in
stretch. This is a stretch to compare it to.
Right.
But I understand the feeling. When I went to Germany to visit my daughter, the base that they were stationed on, they had a piece of the Berlin Wall. And like to be there, see it, feel it.
Piece of the. You got to touch it.
Touch it. Like they had just a chunk, and you can go up to it. You can touch it.
Maybe a museum. Maybe it was the Natural History Museum in New York. But I remember seeing parts of like you'd see the steel coming out of the rock, and then the spray paint and on it. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's that same thing where it's like you have an association, like you know it, it's a part of history. Like even if it's TV, video, whatever,
right?
It's still something that was culturally important, and to see it and to be a part of it, it's actually really cool. Like I like that kind of thing, and I'm always jealous when you get to go down there and see that stuff.
Yeah, I really do enjoy it. Like when I went years ago, we did an O&A live show and some broadcasts from our Chicago affiliate. And when I got there, I go, I want to see some Chicago stuff. Now, Chicago has history of many different things, but I wanted to go see the Buckingham Fountain from Married with Children.
Mm-hmm.
I made Roland and Sam and I made them go through the art museum and repose Ferris Bueller.
Nice.
I have those photos. I should repost those again. But I would do it, and then Sam's making fun of me, and the show's making fun of me, and I go, "You people don't love anything,
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid, but who gives a fuck? You want to go and do it, and it because you grew up with the movie. It was like Ferris Bueller was on all the time when I was growing up.
Right.
So
Aaron and I found out that the 7-Eleven or the Circle K or whatever it was closing down in Tempe, Arizona. They were shutting it down. It's the same one from Bill and Ted. We went over there and sat in front of it, took pictures in front of it. It's just, it's the Circle K, but it's a part of something that I really enjoyed. So I get it. Like I totally get that. I love that stuff.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you go do that? If you have the opportunity, go do it. If I was down in that area of, is it Arizona or Nevada where they have the giant dinosaur from Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
It's right outside of Palm Springs.
All right, so it's California.
So it's in California, yeah.
If I knew like, hey, this thing's only about an hour away, I'd drive out there. Of course you would.
I stop there almost every time I go that way. Like if I'm driving that way, I'll stop there. I do it all the time. You can go inside the Brontosaurus and there's like a little museum and a gift shop in there. It's cool.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you go do those things? Have fun with it.
Take pictures.
Like Celine Dion, let them touch those things. Do I have that drop? I thought I did. I must have gotten rid of it because I used to have it. Yeah, it's gone. All right. The moment's passed. That was awkward. Whatever.
You can edit that in post. Just take that out.
Yeah. Means nothing. All right. Anyway, so what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, we were talking about MASH. Letterkenny. I watched the final season.
Did you
of
finish?
Letterkenny. It's only 6 episodes.
Right.
And then it's done.
Was it good? Was it a satisfying ending?
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay.
I think it really was. I wish they didn't end it, but
yeah,
12 seasons, and he's got.
Now they're going to continue with Shoresy?
Yeah, I think they got a 3rd season coming of Shoresy.
Okay.
And then whatever else they decide to do, but he wrote it, he owns it. The guy who plays. Why am I spacing on his name? Wayne. The guy who plays Wayne, the guy who plays Shoresy, is the main lead in both those shows. Writer, producer, all of that stuff. That's his baby. So he's made his money. He can do whatever he wants now. Fantastic show. It's on Hulu. Go watch it. 6 episodes for the final season. If you've never seen Letterkenny, well, good news. 12 seasons of episodes.
There's a lot.
For you. I think each season's like 12 episodes. So, and they're long. They're about an hour. They're well worth it. Go check it out. It's. I always said it's like if Kevin Smith wrote Clerks in Canada.
Canadian humor. Yeah.
That's what it feels like. And then, Echo, I said I'm on the 3rd episode. Am I watching anything else? No, I think that's it for now. What else is out now for you to go and enjoy in theaters currently? Pixar's movie Soul, which came out on streaming during the pandemic, is now in the theaters for the first time. So if you're looking for something for the kids, go out and check that out. The Beekeeper, Mean Girls, the movie based on the Broadway musical, based on the movie, based on the book, whatever. So Mean Girls Cubed is out and available in the theaters. And The Book of Clarence, which is a silly little movie.
It's basically, it's a biblical movie. It's like a down-on-luck man struggles to find a better life for his family while fighting to free himself of debt, captivated by the power and glory of the rising Messiah.
Right.
So it all takes place during that.
So check that out. Netflix has Lift. That's a movie that is out and available for you. Who's in Lift? Is that?
Oh, that's Kevin Hart's movie.
Right. All right.
Yeah, it's where they're like trying to go rob a plane.
So that movie's available, and then over on HBO and Max, even though it used to be HBO Max, but the HBO cable service and Max, another version of True Detective is out. True Detective Night County comes out this
Night
Sunday.
Country or something like that. Yeah, and apparently a lot of people are saying it's really good.
Good, because the second season killed it.
Yeah,
the first season was good. Second season killed the whole thing, and now they're coming back. If this is going to be good, then I have no interest in checking it out. But if you're curious about it,
I'll watch it.
It'll be available this Sunday for you. Upcoming stuff. We had no idea this was coming, and it just got announced, I think, yesterday. January 25th on Netflix, Masters of the Universe Revolution.
Like, we knew of its presence. I had no idea it was this month.
I had no idea either. And then all of a sudden, Kevin Smith dropped the artwork and said, hey, look, check this out. Here it comes. Here's the new story. And then the trailer's dropping the next day. And we have the trailer here. I have not watched it.
Me neither.
But I did watch the first season on Netflix. And I know a lot of people didn't like it because it was more focused on Tila than it was on He-Man, and everybody wanted He-Man just to power up and start, kicking people's asses, and that wasn't the case. So now Hordak's involved, which means the She-Ra universe is somewhat involved with all of this stuff, but he doesn't seem to be the main baddie for this thing, because the poster work, he's off to the side and Skeletor's up front and center. So
yeah, I still think they're going to focus on him, but I think, Hordak being in it's kind of cool.
All right, let us take a look at the trailer.
By the power of Grayskull.
I'm going to fuck you. Doesn't that seem like that's what it was?
That sword's going to get
like he's
growing later.
Power of Grayskull. And then he just goes, thunder, thunder, Thundercats. Oh, and you're like,
wait, wrong cartoon. That looks fun. That looks really fun.
It does look fun.
I didn't have an issue with the first section of the series. I like it. I like the art. I like the animation.
Right. Well, that's coming out January 25th on Netflix. So
now, what I like about this is they brought in something very random in that trailer that I saw. Do you remember Master of the Universe, the movie?
Yes.
Remember the little midget dude that was trying to get the tones? Gwildor?
Yeah, because they couldn't make Orko, so they made that thing.
He was in that trailer.
Yeah,
him and Orko were flying for like half a second. I'm like,
and the guy
brought in Gwildor.
That's sort of like half a machine, like a Centurion.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it's like power extreme, and then the air guy, the sea guy, the land guy. The guy's walking around. He's got like the mechanical thing, and the arms are coming out all over the place. I think I even saw in there too. Remember when they had that third play set that was terrible, the Eternia play set, where it was the castle.
I didn't like that one.
It was the castle with the cat face, and like a roller coaster was swinging around it.
Well, because they had Castle Grayskull, which I had. They had Snake Mountain, which I never had. I never had that one. That had the microphone on it. And then they made the like Eternia or whatever playset, and that one didn't sell as well. I'm actually very excited about this show.
Well, Got to wait a couple more weeks and it'll be there. Now, I don't know if they're going to do it weekly or if they're going to. Well, Netflix lets them all come out at once.
I think they all just put it out. Yeah.
So I think that's
they did
something
that
I'll
last
watch
time.
the entire weekend, and then for the next show, it's like we'll have seen everything. The rest of the stuff's not coming out till February, so we don't have to worry about that. We do have a few other trailers that I would like to try to get to before we're out of here. But some other news for you. We've been saying this for the last several weeks, but we're going to remind you again because it's happening. Amazon Prime Video added commercials in early 2024 unless your membership, you opted up for the ad-free version, which is an extra $3 a month. So if you're paying, what is it, $107, $120 now for Prime?
It's like $120 for Prime, and then it comes with video.
Right, but now that's not good enough. You have to do the $3 supplemental on top of it where you can eliminate the ads from your programming again.
Which is ridiculous considering the next story.
Right. So Amazon also owns another property called Twitch, and you can use your Amazon account to subscribe monthly for free to any kind of streamer that you like. You just constantly have to reset it every month. It doesn't just carry over for you. They give you one free Prime subscription. So Amazon just announced that they're cutting several hundred jobs at Prime Video and MGM Studios, and Twitch makes just over 500 layoffs. So
it's crazy.
I didn't know what they were doing with MGM Studios. I thought they just bought the name and the library so they could put the movies out on their service. I didn't know MGM was still functioning as a studio. That's news to me. Prime Video.
They have a sub, like a channel, like MGM Plus. Like they still have stuff on there.
New stuff? Or just
they have a TV show on there on MGM Plus that is actually one of my favorite TV shows that they put out in the last couple of years.
What show?
From.
Oh,
it's like
I meant
all
to
those
watch
people
that.
get stuck in a town, and there's some creepy ass shit going on. It's great.
It's like they did Dome the right way. Remember that show?
It's Dome or Lost or It's,
so Amazon saw waves of layoffs in 2023 with the tech giant announcing 18,000 jobs cut last January and another 9,000 this past March. In November, Amazon said that it's cutting several hundred jobs related to its Alexa smart assistant, with the company shifting more resources towards generative AI technology. Twitch also announced layoffs Wednesday in an email to employees that was shared as a blog post. The Twitch CEO said the company is making just over 500 job cuts. The cuts account for 35% of the company's workforce.
It's crazy.
Now, we stream on Twitch. A lot of gamers stream on Twitch. A lot of other shows stream on Twitch. We've seen for the last couple of years now, Twitch just is not the place to be. I mean, if you had a gaming audience, that's fine. But if you try to start up, like if you try to start up now, unless you're, a half-naked girl that's sitting in a hot tub or a pool or an inflatable bathtub in their living room, it's almost impossible for anybody to build an audience on that platform anymore. Right. So now you're cutting it down. They're making it more difficult. I think they upped their percentage as far as what they take. They got rid of the 3-tier system. Now it's a 1-tier system. They bumped it up a little bit, but for what the money you get from it. But then they took a little bit more. You know how like for YouTube, if you're doing subscriptions or super chats or any of those kind of things, they take 30%. 30% of all the money that comes in from super stickers, super chats, anything kind of donation through YouTube, 30% of each dollar goes to them. So Twitch started moving in that direction too, where there was like, you're not getting the streamers and creators were not getting enough of the money to make it worthwhile for them to do it anymore. So a lot of people went back to YouTube, even though it was 30%. There's a bigger audience on YouTube for more things than there are on Twitch. So if they're cutting this down, I'm wondering how like server performance is going to be, the overall software, how that's going to function, or if people are even going to care much by the end of the year, if Twitch is still going to be relevant, or they may just either sell it or shut it down. It's been on a downward trajectory for a long time. Or follow me in the chat saying, I'm guessing Prime subs and loot are going to go away too. No more free ship because they want Twitch to actually make a profit now. Yeah, Twitch was never making a profit for them. And they were offsetting it because it was just sort of like a prestige piece, I guess, for Bezos. and for Amazon because they were making so
Yeah.
much money and everything else. So they're like, we don't care. We like what this is doing. We'll just fund it from other things. But it doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Tom saying, I'll watch it later. Does not stream on Twitch. Hint.
I know, and I posted in there. We're currently looking at a camera system that might make it easier to start doing
No, I think
video
it was hinting not
and
to
production.
go to Twitch.
Probably best. Yeah, we might go somewhere. What is that? Kick? I've heard of Kick.
Kick is a thing. Kick seems to be the home of a lot of shitty influencers.
So that's where we'll go. then.
Several weeks
We'll
ago, there's this really Urkel-looking guy named Neon who got in a lot of shit with Dana White from the UFC. And this Neon kid and his stupid crew show up, and apparently they were banned from the event because they were shitting on he was shitting on Dana and the way UFC was
So
doing
many
stuff.
egos.
So Dana found out, and they were trying to get in, and all of a sudden they found out their tickets weren't good, nothing, they weren't allowed in, and he had to leave the premises. And then in a press conference, Dana was shitting on the guy too, and he goes, and the kid is like, you punch him in the chest, and he will fold into a vortex and disappear. Like he's that paper thin. But he's got hundreds and thousands of followers, and I think he does products and stuff too. He's terrible. He's horrible. He's annoying as fuck, and people like him. He's one of those kids that goes out there, and you're like, how are people not openly punching these people in the face for how?
Yeah, I've seen some people like that.
Yeah, there's Jack Doherty, who's like the king of the
I
ball.
hate that dude.
Everyone hates that kid.
I really want to punch
But he walks
that kid
around
in the face.
with bodyguards.
Yeah, two like big black dudes.
Like he'll start shit with people, then he hides behind them. He's like, "You can't touch me," whatever. It's like, yeah, but if you saw some guys that were like MMA experienced, doesn't matter. Those two black dudes, the giant black dudes that you have as bodyguards, are going right down because they know everything to take down somebody. You take down the bodyguards. You got that kid who loves to play off that he's underage, and he's not. He's like, I'm only 15. He's not. He's like 20 something now. And because he looks young and he's a little twerp, he still tries to play that that he's young. So if people try to do anything for him, they think twice because am I about to punch a minor?
I'd take a court case just to get one good shot at him. Just be like, I don't care if you are underage. I'm gonna just get you, and then I'll get my ass beat by the bodyguards. But
point being,
he's
a lot
so worth
of them
it.
go to a lot of them are big on Kick.
Yeah. Okay.
But you don't need most of these platforms. It doesn't mean
No.
anything.
Go to
Does
YouTube
not
where
mean
everything's
anything
going.
at all. Noodles in the chat. Neon was saying shit about Trump and how he's going to talk shit to him because he was at the event and Dana heard about it and made sure he wasn't even allowed to. That's right. That's exactly what it was. Yeah, he was going to go right up to the former president of the United States and while filming live, you think you're going to get near him, one.
Right.
Two,
He still has Secret Service, man. Come on.
Yes, but two, you see, they're a bit lax in there because whether you like Trump or not, anytime they show Trump show up at a UFC event, he comes walking out through the crowd, and when the whole arena notices that he's there and he's on the screen, they all go crazy. Like you might get some boos, but the majority of the audience starts going ape shit that he's there. And if you had this little dork show up with his camera trying to talk shit to Trump,
it's not going to happen.
The testosterone in that room, not even from the fighters, just the fans who are also fucking crazy, running over and just, that kid's dead. And it's not even by the hands of the Secret Service or the UFC security or the local police. It's the fans. You see that kid's neck snapped, and then they're crowd surfing him, throwing him at the gate of the octagon.
His arms are all limp. It looks like a rag doll just being passed along.
Yeah, they're not even trying to get him into the octagon. They just want to huck him so that you see him hit the cage, make the noise, thumps on the floor because it's satisfying. That's what they're doing. But yeah, go to Kick if you want to experience that stuff. Twitch is not looking so good, so we'll see what happens with that. Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie that was based on the very popular video game series that came out on Peacock last year. They have announced Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is in the works. No word on when it will be released. The first one was the highest grossing horror movie of 2023, despite being released only on Peacock. Not only on Peacock, despite being released on Peacock as well as theaters.
Yeah.
That was the movie.
It made a ton of money.
That made more than the Thanksgiving movie did, Eli Roth's movie?
Now, Eli Roth's movie did well, but the fact that Five Nights at Freddy's made that money while being dual streamed on a platform that you can readily get at home was impressive. They made their money back within the first weekend. So anything after that was just extra money. Like Blumhouse had a good run with this one, and they made tons of money.
Good.
So yeah, as far as that goes, it was the highest grossing horror movie of 2023.
Conan O'Brien is coming back with a show.
I love that.
Called Conan O'Brien Must Go. It's coming to HBO Max in 2024. No exact release date yet, but it looks like he's just taping random segments and putting that out as a program. Look, Conan has been smart with all of this stuff. Ever since they took away the Tonight Show from him, he's figured out everything going forward, and he's been ahead of all the other hosts. His Conan Without Borders series is fantastic, where he just goes to different countries and explores. They're great.
I love that series.
When he stopped doing the late night show in the TV studio and he was doing it in a theater, because that's what he was doing for Comic-Con. When he would do his shows at Comic-Con, they were in these theaters. He started doing small theaters, and the pandemic came, and he was doing it in an empty theater, but this way it was spaced out enough that his whole crew could still work because of social distancing and all that nonsense. And then he realized, nobody gives a shit about late night anymore. They love his podcast and they love his pre-tape stuff. So why waste the time doing the television show anymore? At least in the late night format. And he was right. He ended it. And look at all the other late night shows. No one cares. I loved late night growing up, and that format is just, it's gone. You don't want to sit there and watch it anymore. So it's going to be fun to see what Conan's new series and what he's exactly doing. Coming
other than John Oliver, I don't watch any late night either. I think it's all just terrible.
There's no point. And if there's something relevant or something worth noting, there'll be a clip up. But again, we say every morning used to be like a clip from The Daily Show. It used to be a clip from Letterman or Leno or somebody that the news was doing in the morning. They would cover, here's what you missed on late night. Nothing now. Nothing comes out of those shows. The Last of Us, Season 2 on HBO casts Caitlin Dever. Dever or Dever?
I think it's Dever.
Dever as Abby. This is big news. Why?
Abby is one of the main antagonists from the second game.
Right.
So she's joining the HBO show in the role of Abby. She's described as a skilled soldier whose black and white view of the world is challenged as she seeks vengeance for those she loved. So she's kind of going after the two main characters played by Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey. I think it's an okay cast. I don't have any issues with it. I love the first season. I'm excited to see what they do. They start filming, I think, in February for the show. They are talking about splitting the second game into multiple seasons, so probably 2 seasons. As someone who's played both of the games, I kind of feel like I kind of have an idea of where they would split the second season if they're going to do it and leave it kind of on a cliffhanger, but we don't know yet. So they've got everything going. They're going, like I said, they're going to start filming next season. They cast a few other minor characters, but Caitlin is the big cast for this one. Did you ever see that horror movie that came out? I think it was on Amazon. No One Will Save You.
Mm-mm.
It's like an alien movie.
We talked about that where the girl, the alien landed and is in the house trying to get this girl.
Mm-hmm.
I meant but I never
the
watched
actress.
it. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the actress that's going to be Abby. So
okay. Audi 5000, 3000, 1000. I mean, whatever version we can get here. Real quick in the chat, Noodles saying Conan's is in the new Peacock movie. Please don't destroy Treasure of Foggy Mountain. Those were the guys that do the digital sketches for Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, and I think he had Conan produced the movie, so that's why he's just popping in.
All right, I'll have to check that out. Tom from Alberta, you loved Craig Ferguson's show. I do. That was the last great talk show of our lifetime. Was the Craig Ferguson Late Show. His podcast is fun. I used to hear his podcast when he was doing this show from SiriusXM, and then all brilliant moves that SiriusXM does, they drop him.
They got rid of it.
They got rid of that. They got rid of Ricky Gervais. They got rid of a lot of things because they know better. And he has a new podcast out right now that I have not had a chance to listen to, so I'll have to make a note to go and do that.
I know there was rumors or something that he was going to start a new show. Like Sony was going to produce it or something like that.
Right before the writer's strike, Sony was shopping a syndicated late night talk show for Craig Ferguson. And then I don't know what happened after that. I don't know if they just decided
I'll
to
look
drop
into it, do some research.
Or if it just didn't seem like it was worth doing anymore. Or maybe, I mean, there's going to be interest because he did everything himself. He did the talk show like I've told people many times, like, this is how you do a TV show. This is how you do a radio show. It's like you have your guy. He had his bullet points. He had his, some of the topics he wanted to talk about. And then he just spoke. Like he didn't read, he wasn't reading notes and teleprompters and cue cards and all that stuff unless it was a plug for somebody coming out.
It never felt like canned responses, like something that he rehearsed
conversations where he would rip up the prepared questions as the guest was sitting down. He'd throw them off behind him, and he would sit there and just have fun talking to a person.
Mm-hmm.
And then, sometimes he had cold opens with puppets and the skeleton doing dance numbers. It was fantastic. It was just insanity. So good. So great. Moving on. David Gordon Green exits Exorcist sequel as Universal Blumhouse search for a new director. Do people want, like, the last Exorcist that came out, nobody liked.
He directed and wrote that one, and it did so poorly, he dropped from this.
Right.
I don't know if he exited or they said, you're done, get out. This is a problem with him because he also did the last Halloween
Airbender?
movie.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Starfighter?
Bad too.
Jedi. Am I close?
No, I'll go with The Last Starfighter. It's one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
So he exited The Exorcist Deceiver. It's supposed to be a 2025 sequel to last year's poorly received sequel to the horror franchise. I watched it. It's terrible. They're searching for a new director. Deceiver has been removed from their release calendar, so they're most likely really going to push it far out. It's actually, that spot is going to be replaced by Antoine Fuqua's Michael Jackson biopic, Michael, April 18, 2025. David Gordon Green has a production company. He's doing Nutcracker starring Ben Stiller, and he also produces season 4 of The Righteous Gemstones, which is actually a really good show on HBO. So he produces, and his company kind of deals with that. So
I'm your daddy now.
Want without.
Of course, I'm your dad. You're not my daddy. Stop saying you're my dad. Like, it's just so dumb and fun. It's a very typical Danny McBride outlet, but it's okay. You want that. It's not like, oh, Danny McBride's doing, the Eastbound and Down and Vice Principals and Foot Fist Way. It's always the same character. But you want that. You're okay with his cadence, the way he presents himself and handles himself. You want that all the time from him. He's one of those rare people that you want that from, like Ricky Gervais. You don't want him playing other things. You want him being Ricky Gervais in everything that he's in, and it's okay. That's what, if you haven't seen Righteous Gemstones, go watch it on the Max. 3 seasons are available. The guy who plays their uncle. Damn it!
I forget.
It's only if there was a device or something we could.
I'm looking right now.
See who that guy was. Goggins.
Oh, Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins. Thank you. I couldn't think of his first name.
I love him. He's such an underrated guy too.
He was in Vice Principals. He was in. He's Uncle Baby Billy in Righteous Gemstones. They gave him a game show, Baby Billy's Bible Bumpers. Just trying to say it is annoying, but the whole concept is so ridiculous and it's so fun. All of last season, he's trying to get Baby Billy's Bible Bumpers as a game show made, and they finally did it. Oh, it's so much fun. Go watch it.
Yeah, like John Goodman's in it. Like it's a great cast too.
Can you say it again?
What was that?
Alexa. What was that?
That was Alexa.
Oh, I'm like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, that was weird. All right, moving on. Star Wars. We talked about some Star Wars stuff earlier. Star Wars announces new movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Is that the title, or is that just the concept?
No, that's the title, which I'm hoping they change because it's a horrible title.
It's going to be like a buddy cop film.
It's exactly what I think. It's like two guys going around doing bounties together. It's like, okay.
From director Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau's been pretty good, had a pretty good success rate with Star Wars properties. Everybody else is not, but Jon Favreau seems to be the guy that can get some things done here. So he's directing this new Star Wars movie. It will go into production later this year. It's unclear whether the upcoming film will fit into the timeline of the live-action series, which has aired 3 seasons and is currently in development for the 4th. So we have a 4th Mandalorian series coming sometime soon. We don't know yet. But we also have another season of Ahsoka. Ahsoka. I can never get it right. Ahsoka season 2 is in development with Lucasfilms. No news on when it will start production. Other upcoming Star Wars series on Disney Plus include The Acolyte and Andor season 2. Now, isn't Andor season 2 already done?
No, they were supposed to start it, and the strike pushed everything back. So that's why they had to take it off the release schedule, because they haven't actually
finished it, and they pushed it back the release time. Okay, so
No.
they haven't even finished. Okay, so Andor season 2 is coming, and there you have it. Lucy Moody in the chat says it's like Turner and Hooch in space.
That would be fun.
It would be fun. Who doesn't want to see that?
Grogu's just eating stuff everywhere.
They're slobbering, and Tom Hanks is just like crazy, just looking at him, not caring. Golden Globes happened. Nobody fucking cares. People didn't like Joe Coy's hosting abilities, which was unfortunate. Joe Coy is a pretty funny comedian, but every young person, every pro-feminist and miscellaneous lifestyle was all like, Joe Coy is terrible. Who hired him? What? They were treating it as if it was some lame white comic. It's like, I just don't understand. So they had to really walk back their hate posting. It just doesn't make any sense why they would bring an unknown into the otherwise it would be racist, white, bigot, whatever. But because Joe Coy's Filipino and American, or it's Filipino and Canadian, I forget which, they can't go as far as they want to with their shit posting. So they got to
We're gonna hate you,
back.
but not that much.
What network brought him in? Oh, well, remember all the Hollywood foreign press that for years everyone said was scandalous and very racist and sexist towards people? Well, they don't have control of the Golden Globes for the last couple of years. It's this new organization of foreign press, whatever, conglomerate running things. And they're trying to be more diverse and bring in more diverse hosting and categories and all the things that you were all fighting for and championing. They brought this host in, Filipino stand-up comedian, and now they don't know what to do because they didn't like his Taylor Swift joke. They certainly didn't like his Barbie joke. And they're like, well, we can't go full blast because he's not a white guy, but we'll have to go with chauvinistic and, oh, really? Big boobs on a Barbie? That's the best you could come up with? It's like, oh, you fucking idiots, shut up. Shut up. They're like, and then they're pitching too. You need women of color hosting next year. Why aren't we bringing more? None of you care about award shows. None of you. You're hopping on a bandwagon to feel righteous and to feel better about yourself, and it's bullshit. Nobody cares about award shows. They're self-serving.
I was gonna say, like, I like the Oscars, but after that, I don't really watch anything else. Like, I didn't care. I didn't even know Golden Globes were going to be on.
Most of the Oscars, you don't give a shit about either. The last time you gave a shit about Golden Globes was when Ricky Gervais was hosting. It was because he was lighting them up.
He roasted everybody.
Nobody gave a fuck about who won awards or all that stuff. They just was because Ricky was causing problems and telling the industry to their face how terrible they were. That's why people were watching it. Now, bring in all the diversity that you want, your female comics, your people of color. Go ahead. I'm not even against that. But I'm just going to say, when the ratings come out and they're still super low, you're going to try to get upset and complain, oh, because, how did the white guy or how did the white people fuck this up? No, we didn't. Nobody cares about award shows, and it's been that way for the last couple decades. No one has an interest in them. Like you said, the Oscars. People want to know who win an Oscar, but they don't really care about the Emmys. They certainly don't care about the Tonys. They don't care about the Grammys, the American Music Awards, if that's even still a thing. Nobody cares about all this shit. It means nothing to anybody. And they're sitting there.
Yeah, the top two are Oscars and the Latin Grammys. That's it.
Correct.
Those are the only ones people care about.
Because they sit there and talk to you like this and then overpronounce the winners and the people in the category.
Exactly.
Everybody, it's just reading names of over pronunciation, and it's just too ridiculous to sit there and concentrate on. All right, we need to get out of here. It's been a show. We are back in our proper places with smiles on our faces. Good morning to you. Jordan, the nation's eyes turn to you.
I do another podcast called I'll Watch It Later podcast.
You do?
I do. It just started. It's, I'm 2 years old. We watch movies that we probably should have watched growing up or going through life, and now we're just catching up. And we pick movies every week. This week we're going to be watching a Rush documentary. It's Rush the band. It's Rush Limbaugh. And so we're going to watch that. Next week I've got a few movies that I may figure out, but it's going to be fun. And then we talk about our lives a little bit. We always go to the concerts, so when I'm not bringing a lot of those details here, we talk about it in detail there. So come check us out, Watch Later Pod on Instagram, and come check me out at Jinx Ronan on Instagram, Twitch, all the fun stuff.
Okay, note to self, mute out when Jordan plugs anything other than this show. Got it. All right, for future reference. For me and for the show across the board, right there on the bottom of your screen for convenience, but if you're on the audio version, I'll explain it to you. At It's Erik Nagel on all the social media platforms. You can find us there. If you're listening to the show live and want to come join us and participate, be a part of everything. Each and every week, you can hop into our Twitch rooms while they last, and our YouTube room, also under the moniker It's Erik Nagel. Social media stuff. So if you're listening to us on demand, please, this has been helping, and you guys have been doing a great job. I think we're going to start. We got to bring them to the show and talk about the comments. People have been really cool with it. Even any of the shitty ones, we'll bring them too, because I'm sure that'll be funny. But if you're listening on Apple, Spotify, wherever you're getting the content on demand, please do us a kindness and go and leave us a positive review. It does help out the show. It helps the algorithms and gets more awareness for the program. So if you could do that, we will love you forever and ever. I forgot the rest of the lyrics for the song. I'm not even going to attempt it. So do all of that stuff. Also, I was on the Blaze Network this week. Wednesday, I was a guest on the show Normal World, hosted by my friend Dave Landau and Quarter Black Garrett from the Nerdrotic World. He's the other host there. And then Thursday's show, Dave had to go and do other things, so they asked me to guest host. So it's me and Garrett hosting Normal World on the Blaze Network. Now, if you have the Blaze Network, you can find it through their on-demand stuff. But if you don't, go to YouTube, look up Normal World on YouTube. Both episodes are right there at the tippy top at the time that you're listening to this. So do me a favor over there. Give it a like. Throw in a comment. I don't care if you want to shit on me in that show. Go ahead. Do that. Any attention over there is good attention. Throw it on there. Watch the show. Give us some likes. It's a good program. Dave and Garrett do a fantastic job, and I was honored to be asked to help out with that. Okay, that is it. We do need to get out of here. I think we covered everything, right?
Everything we need to cover, yes.
Everything we need to do. All right, so until the next time, everybody.
Be excellent to each other.
And we'll be seeing you. Bye-bye.
It's Erik Nagel.
Well, I feel like I'm your daddy. I am all y'all's daddy.
Not my daddy.
You're not my daddy.
Not my daddy.
Hush, now I'm your daddy.
You ain't my daddy, boy.
Yes, I am.
No,
you are not our daddy. I am your daddy.
Not a daddy.
You ain't my daddy.
Hush! I said I'm your daddy.
You ain't my daddy.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Erik Nagel on social media platforms. For ways to watch and listen to the show, or join us for the live shows, head over to itseriknagel.com. Yo, and remember to tell two friends so they can tell two friends, and they can tell two friends, they can tell two friends, they can tell two friends. You get the idea.
Keep it real, homies.